Doors, then call the experts at GUIDA today to schedule a free in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra on the story of Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st.
First of all, I loved it.
I couldn't imagine how good it would be with the orchestra.
All his voices are fabulous, and the fact that he sings.
That band. You laugh, you tear up. Just great stuff.
I've never laughed so much my teeth hurt. I'm like, yeah.
Excellent. That's Conklin with City Rhythm at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Oh.
Score the winning touchdown at Borgata during the $700,000 home field hangout drawing. Earn entries for your chance to be one of the lucky winners to get $25,000 to create your dream home theater. Drawings every Saturday. Grand prize drawing January 31st. Score big during Home Field Hangout. Only at Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Unlock your freedom as a new driver with an auto loan from American Heritage Credit Union. We're proud to offer loans on new and used vehicles with low monthly payments and flexible terms up to 84 months, as well as auto lease buyouts. Drive with confidence and enjoy discounts on auto insurance and value-added services like mechanical breakdown protection. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/auto to get started. Insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender. Not a member? Join today. Valentine's Day may feel a little ways off, but more people than ever are planning ahead because they want this year to really count. If you're thinking about doing something truly special, now is the time to visit Paul at Cozy Jewelers, located in Newtown Square. Paul takes the time to understand what you're looking for and helps you create a piece that's meaningful, personal, and unforgettable. This Valentine's Day, step up to the 5th C. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy. Start early, plan it right, and make it a moment they'll never forget. Visit Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. As deadly protests grow in Iran, a source with knowledge of the talks confirms to CBS News that Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has spoken directly to U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and a meeting is under discussion. The direct talks were first reported by Axios. CBS's Stacey Lynn also reports.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the president does believe there's a way to stop the violent protests in Iran without military action.
The president has shown he's unafraid to use military options if and when he deems necessary.
But she says he believes diplomacy is always the best option.
What you're hearing publicly from the Iranian regime is quite differently from the messages the administration is receiving privately. And I think the president has an interest in exploring those messages.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
Democratic Senator Mark Kelly, a former Navy pilot and astronaut, is suing the Pentagon over attempts to punish him for his warnings in a video calling on troops to resist unlawful orders. Kelly is seeking to block his censure from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth last week. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says he is the target of an investigation by the Justice Department. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson explains.
A probe is very different from the grand jury indicting. And so what I'm focused on right now is, does this go to a grand jury? Does a grand jury, and famously the standard for a grand jury is pretty low, it's probable cause. Does a grand jury say, yes, we will indict? What would the charges be, and then how would any hypothetical criminal case proceed?
The Trump administration has decided to ramp up the number of federal agents in Minneapolis after the shooting death of 37-year-old mother Renee Good last week. despite calls from city officials for ICE to leave. CBS News' Nicole Skanga in Minneapolis.
Just this morning, we have watched as the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension sent roughly a dozen of its agents to this block. They were canvassing door to door, speaking with folks, looking for witnesses. We know that state officials have launched their own probe here. So not only are we seeing dueling narratives, we're also now seeing dueling investigations.
After the double murder of a husband and wife in Ohio, police think they have their man, and it's one of the victim's ex-husbands, they say, who's due in court. CBS News' Chanel Call with more.
Here's what police say happened. The couple, they say, were found dead inside their Columbus, Ohio home just over 2 weeks ago now. Their bodies were found by some friends who had visited their home because Spencer, who's a well-known dentist in that community, had not shown up for work. So these folks showed up to their home to perform a wellness check.
Stocks are trading up on Wall Street right now. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
New research says do not get CPR tips and techniques from TV, CBS's Cooper Lawrence explains.
The University of Pittsburgh found medical shows where CPR is performed often use outdated techniques. Researchers analyzed 169 shows, finding fewer than 30% got it right. Viewers may see mouth-to-mouth or pulse checking, which are inaccurate and could be detrimental in real-life crucial moments. The study found 44% of medical dramas portray mainly young people in public places when real cardiac arrests happen to people in their 60s at home. The American Heart Association recommends two simple steps. Call 911 and do chest compressions. Cooper Lawrence, CBS News.
5 weeks after he left Live Golf, Brooks Koepka is back on the PGA Tour, but he's paying for it. He has agreed to a $5 million charity donation and other conditions, which the tour estimates to be a value at upward of $50 million, depending on Koepka's performance. Koepka plans to return at California's Torrey Pines in 2 weeks. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
that hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
Everybody's waiting to hear who it is, aren't they? I'm Mary Walter here with my really good friend. Well, I'm going to say really good friend. I don't know if he feels the same way. Rich Valdez. Hey, Rich. How are you?
What's up, Mary Walter? What's up, Philadelphia? Yes, Mary Walter is my good friend. Happy to be here. Happy Monday, everybody. What's going on?
Well, it's interesting. I think we should tell everybody like our background. They know both of us, right? A lot of you know us, but we'll tell you a little bit about us. But one of the reasons I say my good friend is because when you travel to Israel, the Gaza Strip, and Syria with somebody, you kind of get to know them. And Rich and I were blessed enough to have been invited on the trip to Israel with Newsmax. But though I will say Rich was not on the cool bus. He was on bus A, and all the cool kids were on bus B. And so we kind of got to see each other, but kind of didn't get to see each other. It's interesting when they separated us into groups. We kind of then started self-segregating at meals and things like that, and sitting with the people on our buses and that kind of thing. It was dynamic in that way. So where can everybody find you, Rich? What are you doing now? Tell them about your podcast and all the good stuff you do.
Sure, yeah. Well, I am the host of This Is America with Rich Valdez. You can find it at richvaldez.com. Yay. It's on iHeartRadio. Anywhere you want to check it out. You could see me on TV. You could hear me on the radio. I try to be as ubiquitous as I can, just like Mary Walter. And speaking of the stuff you were talking about, I know you've got a lot of stuff to bring to the table, Mary Walter, but so many things are happening in the Middle East. Isn't it crazy?
It is, but is there ever a time when there's not a lot of stuff happening in the Middle East?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's kind of like status quo. Like, there's always something.
Amen to that. It's never a dull moment for people in our business.
No, exactly. And and that's another way in which I know Rich is because we are often on Newsmax on a panel together, but not in the same place at the same time when we do it. So you can find me on my live cast is Tuesday nights tomorrow night, but my guest bagged out. So it's going to be just us. So whatever you want to talk about, it's interactive. You can leave comments, questions. It's live. That's why it's a live cast. And you can find it live on Getter, YouTube, and Rumble. Look for Mary Walter Radio. Audio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Again, look for Mary Walter Radio. And then like Rich, I'm all over Newsmax. And I also, as you all know, fill in other stations, which I'll be doing later this week. Because Rich and I are here with you today and tomorrow, which is very exciting. So we're excited about that. All right, you ready to get this thing rolling here, Rich? We good?
Let's go.
Oh, let's
Drive
go.
time.
All right. Let's talk about, by the way, we want you to join us. Like, we welcome you to join us. We want to hear from you. You are welcome to disagree with us, mostly Rich, and that's fine. But you have to be respectful. We ask for adult conversation. That's all. Just, no interrupting, no grandstanding, no name calling, that kind of thing. Because both of us, we were talking about this before we did the show, was, we both like being challenged. We both believe that you grow by having your ideas challenged. It's the only way you grow. So, and if you agree with us, that's fine too. You want to say your piece, 855-839-1210 is our number, 855-839-1210. And I'm sure you can reach out to both of us on X if you want to leave a comment about what we're discussing. I'm at Mary Walter Radio, and Rich, you are?
At Rich Valdez with an S.
With an S, that's it. With an S. I didn't know if there was like a number or an underscore. You were in early. Good for you. So let's talk a little bit about Greenland, because President Trump is really making a push again about Greenland. Now, you notice that he kind of let it die for a little bit and did the whole Venezuela thing. And now he's back on Greenland. And we do want your input on this, but listen to what, this is cut one, listen to what President Trump had to say about Greenland, and this was on Friday in the Oval Office when he had everybody in from all of the for Venezuela, all of the oil companies. He had all of them in. There's a reporter who always asks a totally different topic, and this one asked about Greenland.
Right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay. I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
So that raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, Rich, let me ask you, do you think he means that when he says the hard way? Because I think most people, what did you think when you heard the hard way? Because I know what I thought.
Yeah, well, I think President Trump has a very unique way of negotiating that oftentimes offends the sensibilities of those that understand the brashness of New Yorkers, right, Mary? But
right, exactly.
Ultimately, I think that he's right on track. I've talked about this with a number of people that are in the know, like Carla Sands, the former ambassador to Greenland, and it makes tons of strategic sense. And if we focus on what's best for the United States, focus on what's best for, honestly, for Greenland, this seems like, to me, the best move that they could make, because they want the security assurances that come from the United States as opposed to having them from China. Look at what China did for Venezuela. Not a whole lot, right? China always said we would protect Venezuela from an incursion by the United States. These guys were asleep at the wheel with their Cuban bodyguards. They came in, they scooped up Maduro, they took him and his wife. So it doesn't look like China or Russia was there to support them, and I don't think China or Russia is going to be there to support Greenland.
It was fun that China was there waiting for a meeting with Maduro and had no idea that he'd been scooped up. How awesome was that? Trump did that purposely, you know.
Absolutely.
Right?
Best message ever.
100%. I love that. It's just so Trumpian. He understands how to get his message across. But I will tell you, I don't think I'm the only one who, when he said, we'll do it the easy way, we'll do it the hard way, I was like, oh, that sounds super threatening, which, again, I grew up, and you did, with Trump being a part of our world at all times, because I grew up in New Jersey. Trump was always a part of my world, right? So I get it, and I understand how he speaks, but I think it sends a very, very harsh message to Greenland. I realize that he wants Greenland. I get it, but I don't know. I took it as like, oh, I did one of those. I did like a spit take.
I think, and you know what, Mary? I think that's the point. I think Trump wants the European Union to clutch their pearls. He wants people to realize it. He revisited the conversation after showing how agile and with what prowess the United States can go in and take a president out and come right back. And it makes a lot of sense. I would have done the same thing, right? It's like if you got somebody that's bothering you and you just kick somebody's butt, you want to give it a little good, you're going to eye somebody, right? You're going to give them the evil eye and say, you could be next, bro. Stop playing. Let's go.
Exactly. If you want to jump in, 855-839-1210 is our number, 855-839-1210, or Mary Walter Radio on X, or Rich Valdez with an S on X as well. We'll try to get to your comments in a timely fashion while we also speak to you at the same time. Now, this came out today. Representative Randy Fine out of Florida is introducing a bill today that it's aimed at authorizing Trump to take such steps as may be necessary to acquire Greenland and set it on the path to become our 51st state.
I love it. Mary, you'll notice every time we have any type of conflict with anybody, they're becoming the 51st state, right? It's always been Puerto Rico in the wings, waiting in the wings. Then it was Venezuela a week ago. Then it was Greenland. I love it. This is part of the trolling that goes on. And Randy Fine is great. He's one of the best out there. He's on the forefront. He's the tip of the spear on a lot of these issues in Congress. And this is what we need to do, right? Charlie Kirk used to say that if you're not playing offense, you're not playing at all. And obviously you're on defense. So this is the way it has to be done. And for too long, and not only Republicans, but I think just many politicians in general, they're just so used to going along and getting along and just maintaining the status quo, keeping their perfectly coiffed hair, their red or blue tie, and they haven't broken the mold until, in my opinion, until El Trumpito, right? Then Aldous Magnus came along and he really broke the mold. And I like what we're getting. I think a lot of Americans like what we're getting. And the critics tend, like in many cases, critics tend to have the squeaky wheel, right, that tries to get the oil. But for every one squeaky wheel, there's three wheels that are rolling just good.
Yeah. So I'll ask you, and we'll throw it out to the audience, 855-839-1210. How do you feel about Trump paying $100,000? So first of all, they put out anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000. So now every Greenlander's like, I want 100,000, because they'd be stupid to say otherwise. So that's, it's less than 600,000, excuse me. $600 million, I think is the number. But anyway, what do you think about paying him off to join?
Well, I think that's the way to do it. If you'll notice, that's exactly how Trump operates in everything he does, right? Right now, you've got Americans on the left protesting what happened in Venezuela, saying, oh, Trump is in there for the oil. And you've got Venezuelans on the ground saying, It's always been about the oil. It was about the oil when Iran was here. It's about the oil with China. It's about the oil with everyone else that's here with Russia. So they're happy to be in business with the United States with respect to oil. When you go direct to consumer, or when you go direct to the people like Trump does, right? He comes in and says, we're going to do tariffs. They're going to be great. We're going to do this. We're going to give you the money. You're going to control your health care, right? That's truly a government of, for, and by the people. And while people don't like the patriotism or the conservatism, and quite frankly, that President Trump is wrapped in, the delivery is there. And this is the same thing, right? He's going directly to the people. When he said it the first time, the government in Greenland, whatever the monarchy, whoever it was there, they were like, no, we're not doing that. We're not even entertaining that. That's crazy talk. And now he's going straight to the people. So what happens when you have the head of state there that's going to say, well, now the people want their $100,000?
Yeah, it's and it's six. I had to look up the number of people in Greenland. It's about $6 billion, and there's people who are going to scream about we're going to put us further in debt. I got news for you. That's less than the fraud is costing us in one state alone, right?
In Minnesota.
Right, one state alone, and it's. I did not know this. Denmark has a royal family. Who knew? I think all of those little Nordic countries have a royal family, but I wonder if it's like the same system, I would assume, as England, where they don't really have a lot of influence on policy. Like they stay out of the political stuff. They're kind of like just the ruling monarchs. They're like an add-on. You know what I mean? Like I think that's
just on a quick aside, Mary Walter, if it's available, because they're always saying that there's a monarchy here in the United States. I would like to apply for that job. I would love to be an American monarch. Even in Puerto Rico, if they'll let me go to Puerto Rico and be a king or a prince, I would love that. I mean, I love the pomp and circumstance of that, and I want to wear a crown. Just saying.
I have a tiara you can borrow.
Security. Somebody call security. Mary Walter, we're not playing that game here.
I have the one. Actually, it's from the Louvre. It's supposedly really good. All right, so there's a push to make Greenland the 51st state. How do you feel about that? I want to know, how do you feel about your tax money going to buy off fewer than 60,000 Greenlanders and give them $100,000 each and buy them off, and we get all of that real estate? Because I do get that. How much of a defense are they possibly going to put up if China and Russia come in together? Now, according to The Sun, which is a somewhat liberal publication out of the UK, the SAS, they have something, an SAS style Arctic forces. Their SEALs are called frogmen. They train under the ice. Now, our Navy SEALs are good, but these guys train under the ice so that they go undetected. And they have these dog sled teams, which everybody laughs at, but they say, hey, if you're going miles and miles, hundreds of miles on a frozen tundra, and you break down, what are you going to do? Whereas if you have dogs, you're okay. They break down, you just put it in the sled and you take it with you.
Yeah, listen, you likely could, you could take me if you said, hey, you want to go with El Trompito on Air Force One to Greenland? I'm like, yeah, I'm in, right? Because I'm going big dog status over there. But if you told me, hey, do you want to go, take a really high-paying job for 6 months in Greenland? I'm probably saying no. I think there's a whole lot of cold and a whole lot of nothing, similar to Alaska. I don't know much about it, but I know it's not palm trees and sand, what I kind of like. So you couldn't get me to go there. So anybody who's bobsledding through the tundras, God bless them. That's what you need to get around. I'll stick with a Metro card or the new system that they have in the city. I'm not going to Greenland.
Well, speaking of the sled dogs, let's go to cut 15. President Trump was discussing Greenland's defenses and how well they can defend themselves should they be invaded.
Greenland should make the deal because Greenland does not want to see Russia or China take over. They don't go there. It's very far away from Greenland. And Greenland, basically, their defense is 2 dog sleds. Do you know that? You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds. In the meantime, you have Russian destroyers and submarines and China destroyers and submarines all over the place. We're not going to let that happen.
We're not going to let that happen. So he's mocking the 2 dog sleds. I just fear, remember during World War II, how the German army was lured into this fight with Russia, and then the Russian winter came and they were just decimated. I think we're smarter than that, but I do think that they know that environment better than we do. That's just me. But we built the majority of the infrastructure there because we had something like 17 bases on Greenland in the 50s. We decommissioned them in I want to say the 80s.
Listen, I think Greenland is just like you said. This is a place that we know well, that we've built, and if we go back, we're just going to create infrastructure for the people that are there to continue to use, and we'll add people that are able and trained and whatnot. Not sending Rich Valdez over there, that's for sure. But
oh, come on.
When President Trump says things like, they have 2 bobsleds, I mean, this is obviously, him downplaying the scenario to create a juxtaposition, right? You can have the best, the United States, or you can have what you have going on right now. And again, whether people love it or hate it, I tend to think it's effective, right? I think President Trump is very effective when he uses these types of tactics, right? Low energy Jeb, right? That was career ending for Jeb, right? And this is very much the same way. 2 bobsleds. This is again, it's a no brainer for most people. I think even the people in Greenland, and again, there's very few people in Greenland. They're going to say $100,000 or bobsleds or the United States. Seems like a no brainer to me.
So, and apparently, did you hear this? I did not see this until today. According to the Daily Mail, again, all of this is coming out from overseas. It's all coming from the UK. They have sources who are claiming that Trump has ordered his special forces commanders to draw up a plan for the invasion of Greenland, but he is being resisted by senior military figures. I don't think they're going to invade. Like, I don't think we're going in with soldiers to invade Greenland, to take it over, like to wage war on Greenland, especially without Congress's approval. I don't see that happening. So I think this is all BS.
Well, a lot of times it's BS, Mary Walter. A lot of times when you hear these things, right? I remember Trump asking a question that was legitimate, and they turned it around and tried to mock him and ridicule him and say that he didn't know what was going on. And he drew the thing with the marker and the hurricane, and everything Trump does, they try to simplify, and they use his tactics on him, right? They try to create this juxtaposition where it draws so much contrast to try and make fun of him. But I think. And maybe it's effective for those who don't know Trump, but I think those that are in the Trump camp, or even a fairly objective people, I think they see through that stuff because they look at the ultimate results. All right, President Trump has been president for, I don't know, in 8 days it'll be a year that he was sworn in. And so far, I think we've freed Palestine, we've freed Venezuela. There's a whole lot of movement going on around the globe. He's secured the world's largest oil supply for the United States. I mean, these are just a couple of things that happened recently, not to mention everything else, the big, beautiful bill. What a fantastic year it's been for Trump and the United States.
It's been an incredible year for President Trump. And that's what I think we have to focus on going into the midterms. Although being able to gain, you know what though, I'm going to take it back. I'm walking back what I was going to say. I was going to say, though, that, taking Greenland would be such a great thing because of the mineral rights and being able to defend us, the Monroe Doctrine. But most people's eyes glaze over if you talk about the Monroe Doctrine to them. They're like, who? Like they have no clue. So this, I think, is one of those things that's strategically really good for the United States, but 99.7% of the population would have no clue. They'd have no idea. They just want to know if they can go there for a vacation. And when they find out that there are no beaches and no palm trees, like one Rich Valdez, they're like, no way, I ain't going there, right? It's not going to happen. So I don't think that I think this is more, I think it's a brilliant move for national security and for us, and especially with access to the minerals. I think that that's brilliant. But
I think, Mary Walter, I think that is the larger play here, right? That we have a president, and for me, it's one of the larger takeaways. We have a president that, for the first time, I think, in forever, at least for me, that being 47 years old, that is truly looking to advance and expand and strengthen the United States in ways that we haven't seen. I've never heard any president talk about rare earth minerals and how we need them for the future. So that's something where it's a source of pride for me. I'm thinking, hey, my president's better than yours, right? The only other president doing that is Xi Jinping. And he's doing it by hook or by crook. I think President Trump's the one that's offering the right deals, not to mention all the peace deals. I mean, I'm just in reflecting, right, everything that we were just talking about, achievements. Quite a lot has happened over the year, and quite a lot's happened over the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. So before we take a break here, quickly, what is your prediction? Do we have Greenland by the end of Trump's presidency or sooner?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. Honestly, I can't put my finger on the pulse of that one yet. I'm probably more to the yes column than the no column, but I'm not there just yet.
Okay, because I agree. I think by the end of his presidency, we probably have it, or we're on our way to having it, so that when President Vance comes in, we have that for him to start off with. So that's just my opinion. All right, if you want to join us, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210. Mary Walter, he's Rich Valdez, and you are listening to 1210 WPHT.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. It's time for intelligent design, plus exciting performance. Get a new vehicle you'll love. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
Hey, Zuli Army, it's me, Rich. Join me today at 6 p.m. Today's the big day, the big launch of the national podcast, and I want you to be part of it right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Philadelphia Sheriff making national news for being insane and challenging law enforcement, and the Philadelphia police say she's not a real cop because she isn't. Plus, a little kid goes viral for giving the best analysis of the Eagles game I've ever heard, and as you know, I know a lot about sports. Today's going to be fun. I can't wait to see you. 6 p.m. today, right here.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Consumers should be prepared for sticker shock when shopping for electronics this year. The Financial Times reports that global consumer electronics prices are expected to jump by as much as 20% in 2026 due to increasing demand for memory chips used in artificial intelligence. Dell and Lenovo have warned that consumer electronics will see tighter memory chip supplies as chip makers prioritize demand from AI customers. I'm Jason Brooks.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
Every man should have their health optimized. Forte Men's Health offers a unique approach, providing individualized solutions that address a wide range of critical issues. Dr. Michael Atanasio supports you with cardiovascular disease prevention, improvement in erectile dysfunction, testosterone replacement and enhancement, nutrition counseling, and weight control, all in one place. Reduce the need for multiple specialists. Visit ForteMen'sHealth.com and make an appointment today for personalized health care. ForteMen'sHealth.com. With one doctor, one location for life. ForteMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hola, amigos! It's the big noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
When you need them, your local volunteer fire department routinely answers the call. Whether it be a fire, traffic accident, or a cat stuck in a tree, there is always someone there for you. However, because of declines in memberships, departments are becoming understaffed and struggling. Here's how you can help your neighbors and your community. No matter what skills you may possess, you can make a difference. Your local volunteer fire department desperately needs your help. Can you direct traffic, install a smoke alarm, help at fundraisers? Your community needs you. You don't have to fight fire to be a volunteer. Will you make that difference? Will you answer the call? Brought to you by the National Volunteer Firefighter Recruitment Center, a program service of the Volunteer Firefighter Alliance. For more information on how you can help and make a difference, visit www.nvfrc.org. That's www.nvfrc.org.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
FRC.org.
Talk Radio 1210.
So I'm notoriously guilty for letting the bumper music play because I love it. I love the bumper music. I love the groove of it. Welcome back. It's Rich Valdez. We're here with the Queen, Mary Walter. Mary Walter is with us. Mary Walter is yelling at me on text for something for not following the protocol. I'm notorious for breaking the rules. I'm a notorious rule breaker. And we're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. And Mary Walter, what would you like to talk about? Jerome Powell?
You do you. That's fine. But if you want to do immigration, do immigration. I sent out a rundown. Nobody had any problems with it. You do whatever you want to talk. This segment is yours, Rich. It's all yours.
Thank you. What you say? I have to
say that to you. Anything you want.
Disclosure for the entire world. I have probably the most severe case of ADHD most people have ever seen, and I tend to be very free flowing in my ways. So anyway. We are going to do some Jay Powell. We're going to do some immigration. The immigration topic, I think, is just a really long one, and there's so much to get to. Yeah. So, if we flip a coin, let's see. Mary, pick heads or tails.
Tails.
All right, you win. So we're going to do some Jay Powell here. And Jerome Powell, he's in the news because obviously he's always in the news because you cannot say the name Jerome Powell on the radio or on the television without President Trump reminding everybody he's very bad at what he does. He's a very horrible Fed chair. And I love that he stays on message. He does not relent in any way. So you've got the Fed chair, Jerome Powell. He's in the hot seat, and I think we have some audio. Let her rip. Or maybe
on Friday,
not.
the Department of
Go.
Justice
served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people.
So that is Jerome Powell. And listen, Jerome Powell has a voice for NPR radio, right? Late night NPR radio, so you can fall right asleep. What a boring guy. Oh, my goodness. I apologize to anybody on the road, and I hope we didn't cause any narcolepsy for the people in drive time. But Jerome Powell, he's coming up with all sorts of stories. And, of course, the media is saying President Trump is prosecuting Jerome Powell because he wouldn't lower interest rates. Guess what? Find me a jury of 12 Americans in this country, Democrat or Republican, that don't want to see interest rates go down. You'll be lucky, I think, if you find 2 or 3 that'll side with that story. I don't think anybody cares with the reasoning, the rationale behind it. But President Trump says, I don't know anything about it. I didn't call for it. It's a thing. And that's it. And listen, I believe him. I don't think he could have done this a long time ago. You know, we've had 3 rate decreases, or 2 at least, in the last couple of months. And it makes no sense to turn up the heat right now. Right, Mary Walter?
Well, if this is truly retaliation and they're just trying to paint Trump as a dictator and a fascist, and look what he does, he retaliates against his political opponents, totally ignoring everything Obama and Biden did. But it's very poorly timed if this is revenge, because Powell's out anyway in May. His term is up at the end of May of this year. So it's only a couple of months that Trump has to go. So it wouldn't make sense that this is how they're going to try to get him out. It just doesn't make sense. And by the way, Powell, though, is perfect for his job. It's like when I was in college, the accounting students weren't exactly known for their parties. Okay, which is good. I don't want my accountant to be the guy who's doing keg stands. You know, I want my accountant to be really good at what he does. And I'm not saying Powell is good at what he does. I heard a lot of people say that he should have lowered interest rates a while ago, but they want to. I think Trump is I don't even know if Trump has a hand in this at all. You know, we're just listening to what the media says. And of course they're saying, well, Trump's making this happen. Trump is controlling everything. Trump is forcing, persecuting Jerome Powell. It's terrible. So I don't even know if that's even part of this. But if he did lie, we need to find out. The only problem with all of this that I have is the Republicans are big on hearings and saying, oh, so-and-so lied and Comer does the investigation, and they do all this busy work and then nothing happens. And the argument from the Republicans will be, well, he's out of office now. What's the point? That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
so why bother?
I think I have no idea if again, like I said, if this is Trump being a dictator, he's doing a horrible job at it, right? This is the worst retaliation I've ever seen. It's taken so long to get here. The fact that this is just the media doing what they do, right? Anytime there's any criminal investigation into anybody, they want to make it seem like this is President Trump yet again on his witch hunt against everyone. And I think, for some, and I'm going to say it, I don't think it moves the needle, Mary, with anybody. I think it would make sense, right? If you could say, you know what, there's independents that now think Trump's a dictator. But I don't think that's working. I think it's really just more red meat for their base to say, yep, knew he was a dictator. More people like the people that show up at ICE issues, right? ICE enforcement events and pull their car over and start arguing with ICE officers. Those types of radicals. They're the people that believe this type of stuff. I don't think anybody else believes it.
Yeah, no, I also think with the advent of X, a lot of things that we're going to talk about during the Trump presidency and the things that are going to happen, it's not going to be through the same lens as it was before Elon Musk bought X. We now have this freedom of speech. We now get to hear both sides. We actually we actually get a choice. Just, you see what I'm saying? We get to, as I said, both sides, and that's really, really important. But let me ask you this. Do you think this has anything to do with J.D. Vance announcing this new Assistant Attorney General post to prosecute fraud nationwide? Could he be the first one because it's low-hanging fruit, so they want to win right off the bat? Do you think that's what this is? And who is this person? Do we know?
I don't know, but I do think that...
Do we?
I think it's more a piggyback off of the momentum that they gained in Minnesota. Because I think, I'll tell you this. I had somebody call me, a big musician person, and he was like, hey, you're in the media. Listen, I know for a fact that there is a bunch of fraud coming out of XYZ congressional district in New York, and I know where the money's going and this and that. And he was like, what do I do with this? And I put him in touch with a friend of mine that does investigative reporting and left it alone. But, and he was saying, you don't think this is a good story? And I said, no, I think it's a complicated story. And that one that if you come out and say it, it's not necessarily going to catch on because it's missing some of the elements that it needs, like what you have in Minnesota. That, to me, is the perfect storm for a fraud story, right? You've got this community that's very isolated, that's to themselves. You've got their number one foil, their the arch nemesis of America, Ilhan Omar, as their representative. and when you put all of that together, you say, oh my gosh, now you got a story, right? The Leering Center, right? Learning without the N. This is a classic story of people going, oh, come on. This is where you get the truck driver, the nurse, everybody that's in their car listening to us right now saying, you know what? I'm busting my hump going to work every day, trying to feed my kids, trying to go on at least one vacation a year. And these people are here taking us for a free ride on my dime? Hell no. And I think that's why that's doing so well. So I think this office that J.D. Vance is just recently talking about, this new nationwide assistant AG position for fraud, is A, a brilliant idea, and B, one that's using that as a catalyst. My thoughts.
And this goes back to X. This goes back to the freedom of speech, for the freedom of information that we finally have on X. I'm sure if you're on X, by the way, you can find me, Mary Walter Radio, Rich Valdez with an S and not a Z.
Yes.
If you want to tag us in a note, just tag us in a post or tweet, and if you want to comment on what we're talking about, or you can join us at 855-839-1210, programming note. It goes back to that, because what do we see all over X everywhere? I see it from citizen journalists who are now on the streets in Philadelphia looking for fraud. In New Jersey, looking for fraud. There's one in New Jersey. It was supposedly making missiles for the DOD or something for the DOD. They got a Department of Defense contract, and it's next to a Wawa and so, like a gas station. They're like, they're clearly not manufacturing missiles right here. It's fraud, and they got something like a $4 million contract. So, there's no government oversight is what, to me, the biggest thing that comes out of all of this. So we're gonna create an office who's gonna be like the fraud czar, and the fraud czar is gonna oversee all this fraud. But how many people do we have across this country? How many government employees do we pay on a federal level and on a state level, right, to oversee all of these projects with billions of billions, trillions of dollars, all this money? And they're not doing the job. So now we got to have another guy to oversee them, who are supposed to be overseeing the other people. Why are we creating yet another layer? If those people aren't doing their jobs, they should be fired, right? I realize it's almost impossible to fire a government employee, but instead of creating a whole nother office that's going to have a whole bunch of people in it who are going to be doing the jobs that these other people should be doing, just doesn't seem like a really good use of my taxpayer dollars.
Well, this to me strikes me as one of these situations where, and this is a little bit of an aside, right? ADHD moment for me. But I have these pet peeves. One of them is the use of the word scale versus the use of the word growth. And scale is typically reserved as a business term to show that you're growing your organization, right? Growing your bottom line without growing your expenses and your costs. And I think this is a real example of scale, right? Trump is going to say, all right, you know what? We have people. We're just going to name this office. It's not going to cost us anything. We're going to move somebody, likely, that's already there and put them in charge of this and let them run with it. So I think this is likely what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be adding to the size of the government. I think we're going to just be reallocating the resources and saying, hey, sick them.
Maybe that's exactly what's going to happen, but we still have to get rid of those people who aren't doing their jobs. Because if you're not doing your job, as far as I'm concerned, you're complicit. Yeah. And they got to go. And we could free up so much taxpayer money by dumping them. But that's just me.
Well, Mary Walter, I would love to see the government run a little bit more like a business, but you can see the friction, right? The pushback that's come with President Trump taking this approach, right? First coming in with Doge. I think we, the people, loved it, right? By and large, people are like, yeah, more Doge, more Doge. But ultimately, it shook the swamp so bad, it, clogged up all the pipes. Everybody was freaking out. People, it was really serious. I know a bunch of serious Trumpers that worked in the federal government, and they were calling me and beating me up, saying, I can't believe he's cutting this, he's cutting that, and how quick they changed their Trumpian tune when they were, getting packages to retire. And this is part of the problem. I worked in government, and I happily walked away because I believe in this stuff that I'm talking about here, right? Even if it affects me and my own paycheck. I don't like large government. If I had things my way, I would ride a horse on cobblestone streets, dirt roads, right? I really am. I'm that radical because I want to see how far we can go with so little. And then we start adding. Do we really need asphalt? Let's see, because it has to make sense with the amount of tax you pay. Now, if you're paying an exorbitant number of dollars in tax, right? You're paying $15,000 a year, let's just say 20 grand, 30 grand. Then guess what? I want those streets paved every other year. I want it to look great. So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. And I do want to invite people to call because I know that the audience is not very used to taking calls at this hour. Wake up. Come on, let's go. If you're in the car, keep one hand on the wheel and use hands free. I'm not getting any lawsuits because you're getting into trouble. Don't get a ticket. But if you get pulled over, put it on speaker and we'll play it on the air because I want to hear that. And we'll tell them that we're on the radio and see if they'll let you go. Anyway, you know the number. It's 855-839-1210. Mary, anything I forgot?
Just to take a break.
All right. Well, we'll be right back.
Hey, Dawn Stensland here. Kick off your new year on a high note with a new certified or pre-owned vehicle from my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. Did you know Piazza carries more than 3,500 new vehicles and 1,600 pre-owned vehicles at any given time, like Honda, Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, and Volkswagen, plus pretty much any other brand that you can think of. Now that's selection. Visit PiazzaAutogroup.com, search Piazza's new and pre-owned inventory, or to find a dealer nearest you. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Good news for SEPTA riders. Morning express trains are back on the regional rail lines and the Center City Trolley Tunnel is reopened. Bucks County's new district attorney says protecting seniors, kids, and the environment are some of his top priorities. And one battle after another, and Hamnet took home the top honors at the Golden Globes.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
When it rains in Philly, your roof better be ready. I'm Merrill Reese. Don't wait until winter blitzes your home. Call the team at Impriano Roofing and Siding, protecting local homes for over 50 years. From roofing to siding to energy-efficient windows, they do it right. No gimmicks, no pressure, just honest work and great savings. Before the next storm hits, visit Impriano.com or call 610-644-4444. The best homes have an Impriano roof. Impriano Roofing and Siding, your home's first line of defense.
Start 2026 off by banking smarter. Open a growth checking account at First Harvest Credit Union. Earn up to 2% annual percentage yield on balances of $1,000 or more, all while enjoying easy, flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth checking or stop by your nearest branch to get started. Harvest your financial freedom and explore other available savings options, such as our growth savings and competitive share and IRA certificate accounts. Membership restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
At Horizon Heating and Cooling, we know the holidays bring joy, laughter, and lots of people messing with the thermostat. Uncle Steve visiting from out west wants the heat cranked way up, and all the roughhousing little cousins want it Arctic. Horizon will keep your HVAC system running strong all season long with expert installation and same-day emergency service. And right now, get up to $5,000 off a new HVAC system install, plus flexible financing available on installs and major repairs. Book horizonservices.com today.
Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. 610-894-7415 or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, NPN number 2083768. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-823-5544. That's 800-823-5544. 800-823-5544.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Welcome to the afternoon show here on 1210 WPHT. I'm Mary Walter with Rich Valdez. We'll be here today and tomorrow. And then there are other people who are going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even into next week. So it'll be a revolving door. It'll be musical chairs. And you can find both Rich and I all over social media. Rich Valdez with an S, Mary Walter Radio, and also on Newsmax. We're all over Newsmax television as well. He's better looking than I am, though. So
she's got better hair.
Well, this is very true, but that bar is low, Rich. All right. So something very interesting happened. So the president gave an interview to the New York Times at the end of last week. And there were a lot of people complaining about why is he giving this interview to the New York Times. So he gives this interview to the New York Times. And during this interview, he said that the Republican Party does not need anti-Semites in their ranks. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why do Republicans always play defense? Like, why are they always put on that foot when you clearly see the anti-Semitism from Mamdani and AOC and Ilhan Omar and, the Squad and the usual characters, the whole bit. And he said, I think we don't like that. I don't think we need them. I think we don't like them, which I'm kind of hoping that he knows that we don't like them. And I find that when you see the anti-Semitism, it is absolutely coming from the left. I look at the campus takeovers on all of those Ivy League campuses with all the very learned, educated people on them, very, very liberal enclaves. And they were very anti-Semitic. They weren't letting Jewish children go to class. That wasn't the conservatives on campus. Those were the liberals on campus who were doing that. And so all of that is a background. Trump gives this interview to the New York Times, and he says, my daughter happens to be Jewish. 3 grandchildren are Jewish. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of the whole family. I am the least anti-Semitic person probably there is anywhere in the world. And we know he's a really good friend of Israel. So, Rich, why do you think it is this past weekend all over X, we saw AOC, we saw Ilhan Omar, we saw account after account after account on the left all of a sudden denounce anti-Semitism? Why do you think that is?
I think Democrats historically have taught me something, and I learned this during the time of Bill Clinton. They poll everything, and I think they polled Israel, and they said, is this thing working, right? And a large part of it likely was because of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and others that have taken this questionable stance on Israel. And I think when they saw that, they said, which side are we on here? Are we going to double down, or are we going to call it clear? And I think they realize if we say this stuff, we're going to fare way better in the midterms. So they're changing their tune now because it's polling better. And it makes all the sense in the world. But the reality is, and this is the only, I guess, unique view I have on this, is that I believe that the real anti-Semites or the anti-Semitism is something born of populists. Right? And I'm probably going to take a lot of heat for saying that, but you have populists both on the left and the right, and they are the ones that are the true malcontents. They are the ones that will never, they will say things like this, right? These are their catchphrase slogans. Left wing, right wing, it's the same bird. The uniparty. They'll say things like, you ever notice how every banker happens to be Jewish? You ever notice how Jews run Hollywood? Right? They have all of these catchphways that open the door.
I don't mean to cut you off, Rich, but
you
we have
did.
a lot more coming up. I have to do that. I'm sorry. We got more coming up, and more of Rich Valdez and me, Mary Walter, on the afternoon show here on 1210 WPHT.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you ready to make this the year you truly feel better? Start with your health. Rescue Natural Supplements has been helping people support heart health, cholesterol, digestion, weight management, energy levels, and more targeted wellness goals for over 40 years, using high-quality, research-backed ingredients that your body can trust. And right now, Rescue is celebrating with their New Year's savings. Save 40% when you buy any 4 single bottles of Rescue supplements with the code NEWYEAR40, New Year 40. Try their popular Rescue 1250 Omega-3 for heart and brain health, Probiotic for better digestion, or Orosine for more consistent all-natural energy. Whatever your health goals, Rescue has you covered. To mix and match 4 or more bottles and get 40% off, just go to res-q.com or call a Rescue product consultant, 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, or online at res-q.com. Use that code NEWYEAR40.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
A simple piece of paper. It's something we use every day. For the most part, it does what it's designed to do. It sits there flat on your desk as a placeholder for information. But with a couple strategic folds, suddenly your flat piece of paper becomes an airplane and flies across the room. Your 401k is kind of like that flat piece of paper. It just sits there as a placeholder for your money. Alan Cohen of Spectrum Wealth Partners can show you those strategic moves to take your 401k from just sitting there to creating the income you need for retirement. Call today for a free no-obligation meeting. 856-322-8686. That's 856-322-8686. Or online at SpectrumWP.com.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
For Kuiper, as the violence continues in Iran, there are direct talks now between the Trump administration and Iranian officials. CBS's Cammie McCormick with the latest.
A source with knowledge of the talks tells CBS News President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff has spoken directly to Iran's foreign minister. Earlier today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters that an Iranian government official had reached out to Witkoff with a far different tone than what's been seen publicly. The foreign minister had blamed the U.S. and Israel for the violence in Iran, insisting the unrest was designed as an excuse for Trump to intervene.
President Trump said yesterday on social media that there will be no more oil or money going to Cuba, a close ally of Venezuela. And today, Energy Secretary Chris Wright and another official say the current U.S. policy is to allow Mexico to continue providing oil to Cuba. CBS's Eleanor Watson also reports.
Venezuela is home to the largest known oil reserves in the world, but it's going to take years of repairs and potentially billions in investment before there are significant benefits from that supply to U.S. and Venezuelan citizens.
Federal prosecutors have opened a criminal investigation of Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the central bank's renovation of his Washington, D.C. headquarters. But in a video statement, Powell challenges the Justice Department's motives. CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
Powell says he's being accused of lying to Congress over the renovation of the Federal Reserve headquarters. Now, we haven't seen these documents yet, but he says that grand jury subpoenas have been served on the central bank. He says is that this is really about interest rates and the independence of the Federal Reserve. He says this is a much broader issue here.
Chicago resident Michael McKee, charged in the shooting deaths of his ex-wife and her husband in their Columbus, Ohio home, has appeared in court. His public defender telling the judge,
Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing.
Which he has done, and McKee is accused in the deaths of his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her husband, Spencer. Thousands of nurses at several major New York City hospitals have gone on strike over workloads and workplace security. Hospitals say the union's demands are too costly. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani supports the nurses.
They are not asking for a multi-million-dollar salary. What they are asking for is for their pensions to be safeguarded, to be protected in their own workplace, to receive the pay and the health benefits that they deserve.
Stocks up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Someone new is joining the Barbieverse. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez explains.
Mattel is rolling out the red carpet for a new Barbie. The toy company's first doll with autism spectrum disorder comes with noise-canceling headphones, loose-fitting clothing, and a tablet with augmentative and alternative communication apps. She also has flexible elbow and hand joints for stimming. That's the repetitive body movement behavior some people with autism engage in to process sensory information. The new Barbie was developed in conjunction with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. Price tag? $12. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Avatar: Fire and Ash continues to dominate the box office, holding the top spot for a fourth consecutive week. The film earned just over $21 million in North America over the weekend. The horror film Primate was the top new release. Zootopia 2 remains a global hit, and The Housemaid also performed well, earning $11.2 million. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying... Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
WPHT, HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Free speech lives here. The WPHT Afternoon Show.
What's up, Philadelphia? I am Rich Valdez, joined by the lovely Mary Walter this afternoon.
Hello. Happy Monday. It is
Happy
Monday,
Monday,
right?
indeed.
It is Monday. Yeah, okay, I had to think.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
It's the only day I usually ever get right, Mary Walter, is Monday. Every day's Monday after that. Anyway, folks, we're here. We're doing calls, 855-839-1210 if you want to join in and tell me how I almost talked through the last break. My apologies. And thank you to Mary Walter for saving me. I had no idea we were up against the clock. Anyway, I'm supposed to know those things, but I didn't know. I was caught up in my story. And the stories I'm going to get to now, we're going to talk about immigration. Mary Walter has a bunch of stuff she's going to bring us. We're going to talk about Venezuela. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. But I see our producers telling us about a clip from the Minneapolis mayor who's joining Larry Krasner, right? Philly DA Larry Krasner says he wants to arrest, he's willing to arrest ICE officers who break the law. You've got Jacob Frey saying the same thing. And I'm wondering, is this just an empty threat, right? Is this them saying, hey, if you happen to be an ICE officer and you happen to break the law, then we're going to do what we do? Or are they saying they're going to use their government power to impede and interfere in federal operations? Mary Walter.
They already are. They already are. None of this would exist right now if they were following the federal law, but they are interfering with the federal law by refusing to hand over these criminals when they wind up in jail for rape or attempted rape or abusing a child or beating their wife or girlfriend or prostitution or whatever it happens to be. And they're brought in, they are legally responsible. They are required to hand that person over when ICE report it to the federal government. Then when ICE puts a detainer and says, yes, this person is not supposed to be in the country, they are then supposed to hold that person until ICE can get there and then they pick officers up to pick them up inside the jail, the prison, whatever the facility is, peacefully put him in a car, and off he goes. That's the way it's been going on forever. Happened under Obama. Don't think it happened under Biden, but it happened under Obama. And, Harris, she was in charge of all this. But if they were doing what they are supposed to be doing and not impeding the law, and I'm talking about Krasner, Frey, Walz, all of these liberal governors, mayors, etc., politicians, none of this would be happening right now. We would not have these protesters, these soy boys, purple hair weirdos, would not be putting their bodies literally on the line. But they refuse. They have created this problem. It is them. It is not ICE's fault. It's not whether that agent should have shot or not shot, whatever it happens to be. So Frey can sit down and be quiet, and so can Krasner.
So, Mary Walter, you mentioned soy boys here, and I agree with you. I'm applauding you right here. I'm giving you golf claps because I think you're right. But you said something that really struck me, which was soy boys. And I'm wondering, do you think the amount of soy in their diet is lowering their testosterone, and that's why they're behaving the way they do?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of women who are cosplaying as men, and that could be part of the problem.
You heard that, Larry Krasner? That was try to come back at that. I'd love to see that. Larry Krasner, give us a call, 855-839-1210. Well, Mary Walter, we have this rundown, a beautiful rundown, by the way, well, beautifully done. And there's a few things that we're supposed to get into, and I want to make sure the audience gets the benefit of all of those things. So rather than coin toss, I want to get your opinion, Mary Walter. Do you think we should talk about some Venezuela? Should we get into a little bit more of this immigration? What are your thoughts?
We started immigration. I know you wanted to talk about it, so go ahead. I told you it was dealer's choice. Your choice.
All right. Well, we'll do that.
Segment.
So, yeah, amen to that. Well, I just think this is one of those things that gets the blood boiling a little bit. And we have this clip from Mayor Frey. So let's hear that. Mr. DeSantis?
you're basically asking, can our cops arrest them?
Yeah.
From a legal perspective, yes. From a practical perspective, to state the reality, yeah, it does get kind of hard when they drastically outnumber us and they have bigger guns than we do. It does. And here's the thing. We don't want to create warfare in the street.
We don't want to create warfare in the street. What do you think some of these people are doing out there, throwing frozen ice bottles and bricks at immigration officers and interfering in this stuff? I think they already have war on the streets, and it seems to be they're encouraging it, Mary.
Well, if they don't want to have war in the street, then stop putting these criminals back out on the street, number one, to commit more crimes. And the politicians need to stop with the incendiary language. They need to stop with that. If they don't want war, stop riling people up to go to battle for you in order to win an election, because you need to keep the illegals in this country here so that they can be counted, A, in the census, so you get more representation in D.C., and B, because we know we're kidding ourselves if you don't think they vote. A lot of them. Not all of them, but I do think there's a good chunk of them that absolutely do vote, because those same people make it easy for them to walk into the DMV. I don't know about Pennsylvania, but New Jersey, you can walk into the DMV if you get a driver's license, because anybody can get one now, and they'll ask you, would you like to register to vote while you're at it? So how many of them do? Because they don't know that they're breaking the law by doing so, or they do know and don't care. So this going to war thing and them clutching their pearls it's a play created by them. And this is, I'm so tired of listening to these politicians talk and yap when it's all their fault.
Well, there's more politicians yapping, right? On Friday, you had the sheriff of Philadelphia running her mouth, and her name is Rochelle Bilal. And she says, hey, you don't want this smoke. I'm going to start this midway so we don't hear too much of it. But I want you to listen to this. Cut number 6. Check this out.
And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law.
So hold on a second here. So she's saying that they are made-up, fake law enforcement. Most of these people went to school, took a training course, became cops, went to an academy. She happens to be elected as sheriff, Mary Walter.
Yeah, well, she'll take the paycheck and she'll take the pension, right? But she's not doing it, you know, willing. She really doesn't want to have to do it, but some things you got to do. She'll suffer through all of that. They are trying to normalize violence against law enforcement. I'm old enough to remember when that was a bad thing. Like, that was a bad thing. Like, you knew better. Every single one of us, when we were kids, we were getting our driver's license. How many of us were told, keep your hand on the wheel? You know, be polite to the officer. Ask if you can go to the glove compartment to take, you know, get your license or your registration out. You know, we were told all of those things, right? Now it's like, if you don't like it, run them over. They should get out of the way. Notice they don't do the same logic when they're sitting in the middle of a highway blocking the road. If you run over them, then it's a crime. But if they run over a cop, oh, he should have jumped out of the way.
Right.
So it's all part of the play.
Listen to this, Mary Walter. And this is part of why I wanted to talk about this. So when this all happened on Friday night, when we were talking, a friend of mine recently built a bar in his garage out of oak. He's a carpenter. He did a beautiful job. And he was like, oh, come check it out. So we went there, and we were talking about this story. And they asked me, now, you're not one of those that thinks it's okay for the cop to do shooting. And I said, oh, of course I am. I definitely am. I got 2 brothers that were on the job. I volunteered with the police department myself in my hometown in Nutley, New Jersey. And I went to an abbreviated police academy, and all the use of force training I ever did indicated he did exactly the right thing. So we get into this big heated thing, and they're like, but it's wrong, that nobody should have a right to kill people. And we went from talking about these matters of fact and the law to these abstractions and objective opinions about one's bleeding heart. And it was such an interesting conversation. And the people I were talking to, interestingly, were from Cuba, a place where nobody has guns, right? And they've been, oppressed, to use their word. So I find it interesting, Mary Walter, and I'm wondering what your thought on this is, because these are both relatively recent, last 20, last 25 years, guys that came from Cuba. I feel people that came from Cuba 40 years ago, the first thing they did when they got to Miami was buy a gun and open a business. So how do you think this shift shapes things, and growing up in a country that has no firearms and no Second Amendment and no freedom of speech and basically not even a church? How do you think that impacts their view?
Well, I mean, you're closer to that community than I, but in general, I have always said that I think that the further you get away from your immigration story, the more liberal you become, and the less likely you are to really understand what this country stands for. My grandparents came here from Germany. My grandparents, they were getting out before the war started. Excuse me. They could see the writing on the wall, so they got out. They had to have sponsors. They had to prove when immigration came that they had jobs, that they were learning to read, write, and speak English, and they were so proud of becoming American citizens. Right? They're like, if you ever meet someone today who was a doctor in their country and now they're driving your Uber or Lyft, right? And you talk to them, they're so proud of this country. They were so proud to become Americans. That was my grandparents. We were not allowed to speak German outside of the home. We only spoke it in the home. My grandmother loved making a Thanksgiving dinner. She was a great German cook. That woman could not make mashed potatoes or a turkey to save her ever-loving life. But she insisted on hosting it every year because that made her American, because it was an American holiday. The further you get away from that generation that came here, the less you understand. I know why my grandparents left Germany. I know the story. I know what they went through. Ask my nieces if they know what their great-grandparents went through. They don't know. They don't even know their great-grandparents' names. They're not interested in history. That generation, Gen Z in general, not all, are not interested in history. And it's even like millennials. They don't want pictures of the old family, that kind of thing. There's a disdain for history. And so I think that's probably what is at work, to get back to your question, in the Cuban community, because they're no longer the recent immigrants. Now they're 2 generations away, or one, they're further removed from the story, and they're becoming very Americanized.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, and I think there is a loss of things generationally when you look at that. But this Sheriff Bilal, really interesting comments. She really took to the streets, just like the Democrats do, to defend the criminals, to defend every wrongdoer that they could find. And I think we have a caller, Mary Walter. Let's go to the phones. Is it 833? No, it's 855-839-1210. Let's go to Joe calling us from Jersey. Jersey in the building. Joe, you're on with Mary Walter and me, Rich Valdez.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Hey, nice to hear you too. I listen to you when you fill in on different shows, but I wanted to comment on that county sheriff, Philadelphia County Sheriff. Again, she was elected. She has no background in anything to do with police, anything to do with the police, ICE. She's just put in there. She's a DEI hire, let's face it.
Well, I mean, she was a cop for like 20 years.
Okay. Well, if she was a cop and she's talking like that, I thought she was elected into that.
She retired in 2013. So she's been like a politician, an activist with the NAACP for the last, some odd years.
Okay, so I don't know. So she was a beat cop for 20 years in the field.
I don't know what she did with the police, but I know she did.
She was clerical. She was clerical.
Possibly. Who knows?
But can I just say to your point, Joe? Joe, hold on a second. To your point, if she was a beat cop, then she was on the down and dirty, right? Like she knows how things work out there. Of all people, she should know then. Right? What cops face out in the field. That's why I don't think she was a beat cop. Yeah.
That's why I don't, I have, my boys are in the military. And, when we talk about people like that make statements, they weren't in the field, because if they were in the field, to your point, Mary, they would understand the pressure they get from the community and now these protesters on situations, whether it's domestic violence, arresting somebody, or breaking up fights. So, but I enjoy your comment, and here's a comment my boys say to me about generation. The reason generation lose what they're, remember in their past is because their parents don't teach them about the past. So my kids always say, it's your fault, Dad. But that's all. Good hearing from you too, and hopefully I listen to you on my way home. I live in Bucks County, but I work in North Jersey, so I pick you up coming out of Newark on 78. So
that's a hike.
Good luck.
With Newark in the rear view mirror. Joe, thanks for calling us. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Joe, and thanks to your kids for their service. That's always nice to hear. And he brings up a good point, as do you, Mary. What did she do for those 27 years? I don't know. It's probably one of those things we should probably ask Dom Time, right? Dom Jordan. I bet you he's got the scoop on that. But I see that she has a 20-plus year career in the police department, and I'm curious to know what she did. Because it's oftentimes those people that get caught up in the minutia of the politics of the job, like the people that work in government and end up, just siding on the side of government instead of siding on the side of the people. And you need somebody that's really a cop's cop, right? Somebody that understands the job. That's going to go out there and say, hey, look, I'm here for the people and I'm here for my fellow officers. And it's disheartening to hear messages like that. And at the same time, I don't want to come across as a big meanie that, wants to shoot every last person that gets involved with the police. I've never supported fascism. But this to me was pretty clear cut. And Mary Walter, this is one of those things that I think is interesting. And it doesn't surprise me, but I find it interesting. You ever notice how sometimes you watch a video and maybe the people that you agree with ideologically on whatever topic, they might see the same video and have a similar conclusion to you. Meanwhile, I was in this bar on Friday, and everybody there besides me, it was four of us, right? And there was two guys there that were like, oh, no, there's no way. You can't support that. And then the one guy tells me, look, my kid's in the Air Force and he's MP in the military, and I don't want my kid coming home in a body bag. So if he's got to do the shooting first, then so be it. And I just wonder, what makes this, right? Is it the media? Is it one's background? Is it how they were raised? I think it's probably all of the above. Mary Walter, your thoughts? Yeah,
and I also think that we've gotten soft as a country. We have gotten very soft, but I know so many people that are like, hell no, because I have friends, whose kids are married to police officers. I've known cops. I do not have what it takes to do that job, and I am so grateful for them that can do that job. But no, Tim Walz put a law in 2020 during the height of COVID, when he had cops and National Guard on the street shooting people with paintballs if they dared to sit on their front porch. He was a big authoritarian then. That if a cop is standing in front of your car and you are aiming the car at that cop, that they do not have to wait for impact in order to take action. So he put the law in, but now that it applied to someone that he doesn't like, all of a sudden that law doesn't apply, and we're going to conveniently forget that.
Wow. I didn't know that. That was news to me. I'm surprised that Tim Walz even signed a law like that.
Yeah, 2020. Well, he was the authoritarian then, so there you go.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's right. It was COVID law. Right? It was get in your house, put on your mask, and take your vax. Yeah. Unreal. Okay. Now, I wanted to stay on this topic for as long as we could, like for the rest of the night, but I can't, right? We have to keep it moving. So, Mary Walter, tell us a little bit about where we're going in the next segment.
All right. Well, I want to talk a little bit about Venezuela. They claim that there was a new secret weapon that was used for that invasion. And I heard about this. I'm like, I bet you I know what this is. So we're going to talk about that. And I want to get your input on it to find out. And if you already know and you want to get in line, 855-839-1210 is the number. Because I really want to know what people think about this new weapon that the Venezuelans and Cubans are claiming that we used for such a successful, swift extrication of Maduro and his wife. So that's coming up next on the afternoon show here on 1210 WPHT.
Hey, Zuli Army. It's me, Rich. Join me today at 6 p.m. Today's the big day, the big launch of the national podcast, and I want you to be part of it right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Philadelphia Sheriff making national news for being insane and challenging law enforcement, and the Philadelphia police say she's not a real cop because she isn't. Plus, a little kid goes viral for giving the best analysis of the Eagles game I've ever heard, and as you know, I know a lot about sports. Today's going to be fun. I can't wait to see you. 6 p.m. today, right here.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ETHOS.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp. And they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
As the owner, coach, and quarterback of your small business, you call the shots. From inventory to payroll and more. Now it's time to bring in LendSeek, your funding MVP. No delay of game here. Get up to $2 million in as fast as 24 hours for business lines of credit or term loans. Let LendSeek's AI marketplace assist you in making the winning play and score that touchdown. Apply at lendseek.com, LENDSEEK.com.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow. 4 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Media, Warrington, and Thoroughfare. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The price of gold is now around $4,400 an ounce, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Media at the Hampton Inn, Warrington at the Hampton Inn, or in Thoroughfare at the Best Western. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Ooh, I'll take that. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm Mary Walter with my friend Rich Valdez with an S here.
Hey.
Sitting in on the afternoon show here on 1210 WPHT. You're welcome to join us, 855-839-1210, or you can leave comments, tag us in posts on X at Mary Walter Radio or Rich Valdez, again with an S. All right, so I want to share something with you. You know, everybody marveled at the extrication of Maduro and his wife from Venezuela. They were like in and out. Not one American serviceman was killed. I think several were injured, some severely, but they're going to be fine. They're going to make full recoveries, which is great. So I want to just share this with you. This is from, and I had seen this going around, and I didn't think it was real. I saw it over the weekend. I was like, I don't know if this is legit. And then the New York Post published it and Daily Wire published it. I'm like, okay, so somebody has spoken to this guy and this is legit. This guy says he was acting as security for Maduro. And he says that the force demonstrated by American troops was like anything he had ever seen, and that Venezuelan forces were no competition. And he was also protected by Cuban forces. That was one of the things they had deals where they would get Venezuelan oil, and Cuba would provide security for Venezuela. He said the Americans came in undetected by Maduro's security and killed hundreds of men despite the fact that they were badly outnumbered. He said that they came in just drones. There were just drones everywhere. And they didn't know what to do. They were flying over his position. Nobody knew what to do. We didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but we didn't hear anything. So we didn't know how to react. He said, and the first thing that happened was all of their radar systems shut down without any explanation. Then the drones. He said, after the drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but very few. He said, fewer than 8. And he said, from those helicopters, the soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought before. And then the battle began, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed. It seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. And the interviewer asked about their weapons. Did they help? Your weapons, did they help? He said, no help at all, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something, and this is what I want to talk about. He said, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave, and suddenly I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. And he said there was no resisting. Those 20 men, without a single casualty, killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. And the interviewer asked, should the rest of the region, think twice before messing with America? And he said, without a doubt, I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They are not to be messed with. All right. So I want to ask you about this supersonic weapon, whatever it happens to be. 855-839-1210. When I first heard this, and I'll start off, obviously, with you, Rich. What were your, when you first heard about this, what was your first thought when you first heard about this?
Yeah, so I'll give you, I had two. I was of two minds. One, I heard the clip that you just read. I heard it in Spanish. You read a translated version. I heard it in Spanish, and
otherwise
I thought
it would be awkward.
Yeah, and I heard, and I thought it was authentic only because I know some Venezuelans. I understand their accent, and he sounded Venezuelan. So that part at least seemed official, because I'm pretty skeptical oftentimes when you hear stuff like that. I think, is this just propaganda? But it seemed like a legit commentary from this guy. And I've heard about these types of weapons before. I have two brothers that live with their tinfoil hats on, and they live in rabbit holes. So I hear stuff all the time about all sorts of things. And my brother had told me about this a long time ago, about these futuristic sound wave weapons that are called sound cannons. And I think they're also known as like long-range acoustic devices, LRADs, and how they're used. And they use them in some places. I think they've used them for crowd control with, like riots and stuff. So I was like, oh, cool that we use stuff like that. It makes all the sense in the world. I'm thinking, if you want to go in undetected, you're kind of letting the cat out of the bag with this, big sound. But I guess once you're close enough, it doesn't make a difference. So I think everything he said is on the money. It seems right that we use a small group of people because that's kind of how the U.S. typically operates for these types of smaller missions.
So here's my thing. The first thing I thought of, Havana syndrome. We've
all
heard of Havana syndrome, right? This goes back to 2016 with U.S. diplomats in Cuba. And we wound up pulling everybody out because of this, because people have had lifelong health problems now because of this. And they had symptoms like headaches, dizziness, cognitive issues, and they still don't know the cause of it. And they thought it was some type of weapon like this that they were just testing out on the Americans and they could target. So it sounds different than this. Because this was a directed, what Havana syndrome sounds like it was directed
over the phone,
energy
right?
Attack. Excuse me?
Wasn't the Havana syndrome stuff over the phone?
Well, they don't know where it was from. They thought that they were being targeted in their homes or walking to and from. So that seems to be a much more precise weapon, whatever that was. I would hate to think it was our government doing it, because that would really bother me, but wouldn't be beyond the scope of reality, right?
Well, so and the flip side of that would be that we used less than lethal force for a lot of people, right? This guy lived to tell the story as opposed to getting shot.
Right. And it's funny. That's what my husband said. And I'm like, yes, but was it less than lethal? Because if you're vomiting blood and bleeding from your nose, I think you probably have some problems, right? Internally, if you're vomiting blood, it's probably some burst blood vessels in there somewhere, right? That's bleeding into your stomach.
Maybe. In the audio that I heard, he said that he was bleeding from the nose and some people were bleeding from their ears. I didn't hear the blood vomiting, but I did see that in the translation. So that may be something that was lost in translation. But ultimately, I think even if you get banged up, right, it's better to get your butt beat and leave bloodied up than leave in a body bag.
100%. 100%. Now, this is something, I posted this on X, and I'm sure, Rich, you've seen this around as well. I want to go to a cut two. This is a Venezuelan refugee in the United States. And she was interviewed. Well, she put out a video, and it was all over X. And I'm like, you need to bookmark this, and you need to share this to every beta boy, every purple-haired, middle-aged, angry woman, and who hates men. You need to make all of them listen to this. Listen to this woman's message for everyone who thinks that what Trump did in Venezuela was wrong.
An American that hasn't lived the terror of socialism will never understand what is going on right now. I don't care if you have a master's degree in whatever, unless you live it in your own skin, you won't ever understand it. And I think it's terribly disrespectful for anybody to tell a Venezuelan how we should react to that. I think it's terribly disrespectful to the people that have died, saying that Maduro shouldn't be where he is. And I left my country with just the clothes I was wearing and a little bit of diapers and milk that I had left. Don't you dare telling me that this is not a reason for celebration. When I first come into the United States, I cried and had to turn around to my husband and ask him to please help me to open the shower because I didn't even know how to open the shower. When I walked into Walmart and I saw so many options to eat, I couldn't believe myself. Our reality is different. We want to live. And you guys have everything in this country, more than you could ever imagine. And I just wish that you could love it a little bit more. and respect it a little bit more. Because if I had to give my life for America, I would.
That's how powerful is that?
Incredibly moving.
Who are we to tell her that she doesn't know what she's talking about?
100%. Listen, I only know what I know about communism because I grew up around a lot of Cubans, and they told me, and I've heard stories like that, and she was compassionate, right? She was crying and just sharing her plight. The Cubans are 2 steps ahead. They're not crying. They're yelling at you. How dare you? Right? They're letting you know. What do you think you know? You don't know, right? And they will give you, and they'll sit you down and lecture you. I mean, when I'm being a teenager, meeting people, and you got to meet the family. You got to say hello. You talk to the grandmother. They want to know. They're gatekeepers, and they ask, "Where are you from? Where's your family from?" They want to know if you're from a communist sympathetic country or not, because they don't want to be around those people. And they would ask you, "Oh, Puerto Rico, okay, then you're all right." And still, there's a bunch of commie sympathizers in Puerto Rico. We're not the only ones suffering from that, like Vermont and Bernie Sanders. They have people like that, like AOC in the Bronx. They have them all over Puerto Rico too. But it was just interesting to me. So I learned early on, and through many a lecture of, hey, have a seat. Let me tell you something. Of old timers that would sit there and school me on what it was like. And I have a friend who was like a political mentor of mine early in life, Dr. Roland Alum, who, same story, left Cuba at 15 years old with a backpack on his back. And they said, the backpack isn't yours. It belongs to us. Give it back. And while they were there was a chicken walking around outside his house. And they said, and the chicken ain't yours either. And they took that too.
Yeah. Well, I say all the time to people who are like, oh, free healthcare, free this. I'm like, just remember, any government that can give you something away for free, give you something for free, can also take it away. Mm-hmm. So you want the government to control your health care. You want the government to make other people pay for your health care, and the government's going to take the money from them to give to you to pay for your health care. Just remember, when they run out of other people's money, they're going to start taking your health care away. And they don't seem to understand that. I just want to go into one more thing about Venezuela. We keep hearing that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's nominated multiple times every year. It comes around every year, and he was not eligible to be nominated in 2025, but he will be for 2026 for what happened. The peace deals that he has brokered so far. And Maria Corina Machado, she is an opposition leader for Venezuela, and she is in exile right now. She had very famously and very publicly offered her Nobel to President Trump. And she is due to meet with him in Washington, D.C. this week. Now, a lot of people think that she's the one who lost the election. She wasn't even on the ballot. She did not, so she wasn't even eligible.
Well, but, she actually was on the ballot, and Maduro kicked her off.
Kicked her off the ballot, yeah.
Yeah, so then she put this other guy on, and then he won because she backed him.
Right, exactly. And so so she wanted, because she said she had wanted to give him her Nobel. And Donald Trump has openly said he wants it. So, but the Nobel Committee has said that once a Nobel Prize is announced, it cannot be revoked, shared, or transferred to others. The decision is final and stands for all time. So if you think somebody else should have gotten, like Mother Teresa, right? You thought Mother Teresa should have gotten it and she didn't get it. You can't give Mother Teresa your Nobel. You have to keep it. I don't know how they prevent you from, well, it's money. But I guess like the medal, I guess you could give to him. I don't know. But
yeah, I guess the official title, the recognition from them is non-transferable.
Right. So it's non-transferable. Do you think, before we go out here, do you think that Donald Trump will ever win the Nobel Peace Prize?
I do. I'm naive enough to think that they're not going to be able to escape it next year. Like I said it earlier, Donald Trump has freed Palestine. He's now freed Venezuela. He's got something like 9 peace deals. He's ended 9 different wars or 8 different wars, and the 2 big ones seem to be right. They seem to be on the table, at least every other week. They're on the table, off the table. I mean, he's not God, but he's doing, I think, a fantastic job, and I think it's going to be hard to escape not giving him one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't have high hopes because I just think that they know he wants it so badly and they hate him so much that they're just going to hold on to it and never give it to him, just to get under his skin. It's the only thing they can do to really get under his skin. And so I think that they're petty enough, the left is petty enough that they won't give it to him. But we'll see. We'll have to see. All right, we've got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Rich Valdez and Mary Walter. That's Valdez with an S. And I have to keep saying that. And Mary Walter here on the afternoon show on 1210 WPHT.
At Citizens, we help make sense of your money and all your money questions.
Should I pay down my debt or start an emergency fund?
Is now the right time to start saving?
How can I move my financial goalposts even an inch?
Can money actually buy happiness?
What's it take to live like a royal in Queen Village?
Whatever money questions you have, Citizens has the answers. Make sense of your money at citizensbank.com/made ready. Member FDIC.
Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Consumers should be prepared for sticker shock when shopping for electronics this year. The Financial Times reports that global consumer electronics prices are expected to jump by as much as 20% in 2026 due to increasing demand for memory chips used in artificial intelligence. Dell and Lenovo have warned that consumer electronics will see tighter memory chip supplies as chip makers prioritize demand from AI customers. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours, thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV super pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8 chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415, or find them online at retirereadyfg.com. And get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
Listen up, football fans. You never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply and app only.
So last year I had the bright idea to dig up part of my backyard to put in a new patio. Little did I know that underground electrical for most of my neighborhood ran through my backyard. One wrong hit of the shovel and bam, lights went out, my hair turned white, and now I can wirelessly charge my smartphone. You know, they say hindsight is 20/20, but 220? That's something completely different. Trust me. Call 811 before you dig. Know what's below and help us hit 50 and 5. 50% less damage to buried utilities in 5 years. For info, visit pa1call.org.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet?
Not yet.
Do it today.
Okay.
At 1210 WPHT.
WPHT.
All right, there I am, notoriously guilty for letting the music play for longer than anybody else wants. I am Rich Valdez. I'm here with Mary Walter. We earlier in the previous segment, we made ourselves monarchs, so she is the queen of this afternoon's program. And happy to be here with you. She's at Mary Walter Radio on X. If you want to chime in, I'm at Rich Valdez with an S. If you want to holler at me and tell me how great my hair is, and if you want to talk to us on the radio, feel free. My phone number here, exclusive, just goes straight to Mary and then to me. It's 855-839-1210. 855-839-1210. Don't be shy. Pick up the phone and say something. It's talk radio. I feel like we're doing all the talking. Anyway, I want to talk about the Golden Globes a little bit, and we'll talk about it again later because I like to kind of weave in and out. But the Golden Globes are interesting last night. I never watched the Golden Globes. I'm all about a good awards show. I like the VMAs. I enjoy a good awards show. But I've never watched the Golden Globes. And there was a couple of interesting moments there last night that we'll get to in the next hour. I think we'll save those for there. But I did want to touch on this topic here that we were on schedule to talk about. And this one is interesting, Mary Walter. I think very, very funny, but not funny. This influencer has gone viral for marrying her teacher. Some saying she's a gold digger. Mary Walter, tell us more.
Yeah, she is a 22-year-old Italian influencer, and she is famous for marrying her 60-year-old husband. And she is now clapping back at critics who are saying, you know, oh, you're only in it for the money, etc. But let me ask you, she claims that they met after she had graduated. They ran into each other in a store. And they dated she had a crush on him all through high school. And she had a crush, they met in the store. They dated for 2 years. And then they got married. And so she's 22, he's 60. But let me ask you, they met, everybody's appalled. Here's the thing. They met started dating after she was married. And I went to school with someone who was a couple of years behind me, who was a track runner, long distance track runner, and wound up marrying the coach. He got divorced. He had kids. They wound up together, and they had kids together until he died. So if it's after they graduate, is it okay? Because I kind of think it is. After graduation, who cares? Like, not my kid. Oh, hell no. But
yeah,
after they graduate, is it okay?
I'm really curious. I don't know. You know, I don't have an answer for this one. I want to hear from the audience. I really would love to. Please give me a call on this one, 855-839-1210, because this is interesting to me. At what point does it become wrong? Is it wrong at all? I don't know. I don't think I would ever marry somebody that's 40 years older than me. But in this case, would I marry somebody 40 years younger than me, right? Because it was the guy marrying the younger person. I don't think I don't like girls that young either. I don't think I do. I mean, but maybe at 60 I might, right? I'm only 47.
Why do you think it is? Why do you think it is that if it was reversed, everyone would be like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrific." But if it's this much of an age difference, first of all, I think it's way too much. That's number one. And she claims that he doesn't have a lot of money. You know, she's not in it for the money at all. He doesn't have a lot of money, and she makes a lot of money doing with her influencer thing, which maybe that's just what this is. This is a marriage of he wants the companionship, she wants the money, so she makes money, you know, live streaming her marriage to this older man.
Oh, nice.
Right? Maybe that's what's going on.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it's just because maybe that's what's going on. But why do you think it is?
Well,
You never see this in reverse. Why is it always a young broad with some old guy who thinks that she loves him because he's still got it, and everyone around him, including his buddies, are like, "Dude, she's in it for the money." Like, she's really, you know, it's not.
Well, I think.
Why do you never see women doing that? Why do women never go for younger guys? Because I know the reason why.
Oh, do you? I don't know, but I think I would suspect that there is from women I've spoken to that they like the idea of a man that's more mature and more established in his life, that's more able to provide that type of lifestyle. And guys are relatively immature. I'm 47. Most people think I'm in my late 20s. So it just shows you how mature I am. So I get that. And if a woman who is way mature than a man wants a guy that's more mature, then looking older is the way to go. And I mean, from the days of the Bible, it's been like that, Mary.
Well, yes, but that was merely for procreation. That's all that was. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. But saying that you're 47 and people think you're immature is not a flex. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And I know you're joking.
I'm fine with it.
We're joking. No, we're joking. I know you're joking. I'm kidding you. I think women don't want to be bothered because if you watch your friends when they get divorced, the man is with someone else dating or in a serious relationship within a year. The woman is living her life by herself, having fun, traveling around with her friends and everything else. Men are a lot of work. They're a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they're very needy. Not all, obviously, don't write me nasty letters. Not all.
Write the letters.
But men need companionship. Women can sit alone in a house with a book and a blanket on a rainy day and be happy as ever.
Yeah, all true.
And it's very. I noticed it with my friends. Someone told me that once, and I noticed it with my friends. And I know that God forbid anything should happen to my husband, I'd be like, that's it. Party's over. I'm done.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Let's leave it there, Mary Walter, because I think we have to go, and I want to see if people agree with you or they agree with me. What do you think? Why do women date older men? We're going to take a break here, but we're going to come back, and I want to know what you guys think. 855-839-1210. She's Mary Walter. I'm Rich Valdez.
Hola, amigos. It's the big noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow. 4 locations this week: Chestnut Hill, Media, Warrington, and Thoroughfare. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The price of gold is now around $4,400 an ounce, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow, Monday through Friday at the Chestnut Hill Hotel, in Media at the Hampton Inn, Warrington at the Hampton Inn, or in Thoroughfare at the Best Western. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those holiday bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. Look around your home right now, especially the kitchen and the bathrooms. Obviously, you use them every day. Think about a refresh. And that's where my friends at Kitchen Magic come in. They're family-owned, crafting high-quality American-made kitchens and baths, and they make the process so simple from start to finish. Right now, you enjoy 30% off kitchen cabinet refacing, 50% off bathroom installations. Start the new year with a home that looks better and works better for you. KitchenMagic.com. Do it today. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. Taking to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
On the hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Breaking news: the Trump administration is being taken to court by the state of Minnesota and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Minnesota Democratic Attorney General Keith Ellison.
We're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota.
It comes 1 week after the shooting death of a Minneapolis woman by an ICE officer. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says what is going on in the Twin Cities is not normal immigration enforcement. The Department of Homeland Security says it's surging more than 2,000 immigration officers into Minnesota and that it has made more than 2,000 arrests in the city since the push began last month. The Trump administration's criminal investigation of Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, which Powell says is an attempt to exert more control over the Fed, has sparked backlash. Several Republican senators have condemned the Justice Department subpoenas of the Fed. Former Biden economic advisor Jared Bernstein.
I'm quite skeptical, and I think the evidence for the Department of Justice or President Trump in this case is so flimsy and so phony that I don't know if they'll be able to get a grand jury to even indict.
Bernstein, along with a number of other economic advisors and Treasury secretaries, denounced the investigation. Iran is experiencing nationwide anti-government protests, which have become increasingly violent. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
Reza Pahlavi is Iran's exiled crown prince.
The country is in full revolt.
He says unlike uprisings in the past,
this time people are on the streets to put a final end to this regime.
He says they're saying,
we are past condemnations, we are past resolution, we are past the stage of offering sympathy.
He says they need action, but the big question,
are we alone in this fight, or will this time the world respond to this brutality and come to their help?
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Paramount Skydance is suing Warner Brothers Discovery for more information as the CBS parent company pursues a hostile takeover of Warner Brothers. CBS's Jason Brooks has more.
Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison sent a letter to Warner Brothers shareholders saying that his company wants the court to compel Warner Brothers to provide information that shareholders need in order to make a more informed decision. Warner Brothers board last week rejected Paramount's amended bid, urging shareholders to accept Netflix's bid, the board's belief that Netflix's bid offers greater certainty.
Former Trump advisor Dina Powell-McCormick is named Meta's president and vice chairman. This is CBS.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
A British government study finds screen time is impacting toddlers' language skills. CBS's Vicki Barker reports.
The study notes under 5 spending around 5 hours a day in front of screens have significantly worse communication skills and vocabulary than those with the lowest screen time. Early childhood expert Felicity Gillespie says that's because language skills form during interplay between toddler and adult.
The trouble with a screen is it's a passive one-way transmission of information, which just leaves the baby or the toddler passively watching and observing.
The British government will publish guidance for parents this spring. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
Wall Street edged to more records after bouncing back from early losses taken because of worries about the worsening feud between the White House and the Federal Reserve. The S&P 500 added to its all-time high set on Friday. It closed up 11 points at 69.77. The Dow recovered an early loss, jumping 86 points at 49,590, and the Nasdaq rose 63 points. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
WPHT, HD, WOGL, HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Now, The Drive at 5. 30 minutes of non-stop talk from Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
That sounds like a challenge, especially on a Monday. I'm Mary Walter with Rich Valdez with an S. And if you're just joining us, well, where have you been? Welcome. 855-839-1210 is our number, 855-839-1210 if you would like to join us, or you could hit up either one of us on X, Mary Walter Radio, or Rich Valdez. So it's super easy to find us. So I just want to hit a couple of news stories, some updates, and then I want to get into a little bit about Marco Rubio, who, by the way, I never ever thought that I would say the words, wow, Marco Rubio is hot. Little Marco, never thought I'd say it, yet here I am. Here we are. So it's a weird time. All right, Rich, you ready for some news?
I'm ready, Mary Walter.
Okay. One of my favorite things ever is when someone on The View has to walk something back. One of my favorite things ever. Guess who did it today?
Which one?
Not Sunny Hostin, who usually she reads all the legal notices because she's a lawyer.
Yeah, and every now and again it's Joy Behar because the lawyer's getting hurrier.
Right, exactly. Nope, this time it is Whoopi Goldberg with the yapping yentas on The View, walking back comments that she made on Friday suggesting that ICE enforcement agents were violent criminals. Actually, she said it during the first part of the show today. I correct myself. She said, nobody wants this. This is not what you said they were going to be. This is the thing. You said they were going after the bad guys. But for the record, the guy that they were trying to get, that started all of this in Minneapolis, he was supposed to be out of the country. You know why? Abusing children. Child molestation. And they're fighting to keep this guy in the neighborhood, this mother of 3. What are you kidding me?
They always fight for the worst ones.
Yes. So she said, that's what you said, the violent criminals. And what does it turn out? The violent criminals seem to be in the agency. Then there's a commercial break, and you know what happened? Clearly, I'm sure that The View has its own lawyer that is on call 24/7, especially, and there's like 2 there during the show, because you never know what the yentas are going to say.
In the control room,
right?
Shaking their head.
Screaming, no! So one of them went out there and talked to her, because they come back, and she says, before folks gather around and say, oh, she's accusing all the folks at ICE of being criminals, that's not what I'm doing. And just so I'm clear, it feels sometimes that there is no one watching the hen house, okay? So before y'all start blowing into all kinds of other stuff, just know that it's nuanced speaking. Like
alternative facts.
Yeah, because we're the idiots. It's not what they say, it's how we hear it and how we interpret it that's the problem. It's not their mouths that are the problem. And it's not that they float their feelings as facts that's the problem. It's not that at all. It's the way we hear it and interpret it, because we don't think right. So that's the problem. So then Sunny Hostin jumps in. I think you meant the lack of accountability, because you've had 9 shootings by ICE against various people. We haven't heard much reporting on it, and no one has been held accountable, and we don't know the status of the investigation. So it does feel like there is a lack of accountability and transparency. And Whoopi Goldberg says you're very kind, and I appreciate that. I challenge anyone to come up with one time that The View has bemoaned the loss of an American citizen that was murdered at the hands of an illegal in this country.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Go ahead. Yeah, I heard you.
No, I was just saying it's you couldn't make it up. This is one of those things. I mean, we've got all of this stuff happening in Iran. We've got all this stuff happening in Syria. And The View wants to continually beat up on the cop that was doing his job. And that's fine. They're going to try and keep this going. And apparently, I guess it's working, right? Some people are fooled by this propaganda.
And as if my interpretive reading was not enough, Matt has the cut for us. Matt, you are the best. So here, I know I did not say it as beautifully as Whoopi Goldberg. Here you go.
Here's the thing. You said you were going after the bad guys.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what you said, the violent criminals.
That's
and
right.
what does it turn out? The violent criminals seem to be in the agency.
A few moments later.
Accusing all of the folks at ICE of being criminals. That is not what I'm doing. And just so I'm clear, it feels sometimes that there is no one watching the hen house. Mm-hmm. Okay, so before y'all start blowing it into all kinds of other stuff, just know that it's nuanced.
It's nuanced, Mary.
And it's a big word. Wouldn't you love to hear Kamala Harris explain the word nuance?
Only at night when I'm really tired.
Only if I've had a lot to drink, because then it would be hilarious. Thank you, Matt. You're the best. Okay, so we were also talking about this influencer who is 22 years old and her husband's 60, and she married a high school teacher. And everybody's like, oh, you're just in it for the money. And she may be, because she's an influencer and she's gorgeous. And so she's probably just, doing this to for followers and clicks, etc. And there was not an update, but this as well from the boys. Brigitte Macron was Emmanuel Macron's high school teacher. I forgot about that. I forgot. Wow. I knew that, and I totally forgot about that.
Does that make her a cougar?
But see, now, why is there a word for a woman who goes after a younger man? She's a cougar, but what is a man who goes after a younger woman?
Yeah, they have names for that, too. They call them ballers, playboys, pimps.
Pimps?
The man.
Pimps?
This guy's a
the
pimp.
Man?
This guy's the man.
So is cougar a derogatory term or like the man for women?
No, I think it's more just descriptive.
Okay. When they first met, Macron was a 15-year-old student, and she was a 39-year-old teacher. She taught drama and literature. She was also married, and she also had 3 kids at the time.
Wow.
They did not become romantic, though, while he was her student. They both say it developed later after she left this. He graduated. He went to Paris to finish his education. They got married in 2007 when he was 29 and she was 54. The age gap between them was 24 years.
So take that to everybody thinks that she's a man. Apparently, she's always been a woman. Huh. That's the breaking news.
Speaking of breaking news, okay.
There's a Truth Social post that the president put out. I don't know if you saw that note, Mary.
I did. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if you saw it, we didn't have to go to it now. I just wanted to put it out there.
The president posted on Truth Social 20 minutes ago saying, effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will have to pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States. This order is final and conclusive. So this is what President Trump was talking about, because he said he was going to hit Iran hard, right? He said, I'm going to hit them hard. And I think everyone thought he meant militarily, and I was guilty of that. I also thought he meant militarily, or because there have been rumblings that it would be in combination with Israel, that it would be another combined hit with Israel, that they would just hit like the power plants and the things that they have been reconstituting that they're not supposed to reconstitute, doing something along those lines that they destroyed in the attacks over the summer.
Right.
That maybe that's what it is. I did not see this coming at all. Did you?
Well, I can't say I saw it coming, but this is his playbook, right? President Trump will do absolutely anything to not use military force. that he is a extreme pacifist. He hates using the military. And when he does, it's incredibly surgical, right? 8 helicopters. We got a whole fleet. He had 10,000 Marines and used 20 guys, right, to get in and out. This is how he rolls every single time. The least amount of manpower, the least amount of force. And it's always financial up front. And it's always, first it's a deal. Let's make a deal. And after you say no to the deal, then he hits you with this. And this is the number every time. It's 25%. He did it with China. They eventually buckled and came back to the table. We did it to Canada. And now he's doing it with Iran. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who does a whole lot of business with them besides Venezuela. But again, I'm speaking from a position of ignorance here. I've never bought anything from Iran. But I am curious to see how this works out, because you've got these protests going on. And he's all this talk with Starlink and Elon Musk bringing the internet in to continue to help the protesters who are fighting for their freedom. So I think we might be on the precipice of a real change, Mary.
Yeah, and they say that this is different than 79 because right now the economy is so bad in Iran. Like, they're really having a hard time. Apparently, socialism, that is communism, that is authoritarianism, eventually runs out of money. And so I think what President Trump is trying to do is to just put that screw into them to try to really, really just pressure the regime that much more. Apparently, the Ayatollah already has a deal with free safe passage elsewhere, but that still leaves his people there, and nature abhors a vacuum. So does the next guy in line just move up? And these protests have moved across the world. We see them here in the United States, but in London, some guy went in to the Iranian embassy in London and went up on the second floor onto a balcony and tore down the Iranian flag to put up the lion flag. That's the original Iranian flag,
right.
Not the one from the Islamic regime. And they have, like I said, they've been doing that. So this is happening all across the world. So it's very, very different this time than last time. And that's why I think probably President Trump sees the ability to do something here because of the fact that everything is badly. And the Iranian president said that the government is going to address economic problems. And he said this yesterday, that they're determined to address the economic problems facing the people. And he's urging them to please stop the destruction. They are burning down mosques. So that's another thing that's different this time. They're done. I think this is also a revolt against not just the regime, but the Islamism that has been foisted upon these people. If you look at pictures from the 70s, when the Shah was still there, women were on the cutting edge of fashion, and they looked like any other Western country, and it was not majority Muslim at the time. Now it is, right? And this has all been forced on them. So seeing this is very interesting, but they're promising to address the economic problems, but they don't have the money to just hand out, and I don't know if that's what really solves the problem either. So.
I think they need to make some money, and I think they should have probably listened to Trump the first time around when he was trying to make a deal with them. But you mentioned these protests spilling over into other parts of the world, and just over the weekend we saw the one with the U-Haul truck that mowed down some people in Los Angeles. That was wild.
Yeah, and we now know the identity of the driver, and no one was killed. No one was hurt. It doesn't make any sense because this was they were for the protesters, for the pro-Iranian, for the rebels in Iran, like the ones who were protesting against the regime. And this guy had this truck that had, against the regime, but against the Shah as well. And I guess these protesters are out there. I would assume most of them are Iranian or know what they're protesting about, because apparently California has a large population of Iranians.
Yeah.
But his name is Kalor Madanesht. I have no idea what his ethnicity is. That's all we know about him. He was taken into custody. The cops actually had to save him.
Is that Irish, you think?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not my people. And because they had surrounded the truck and they were trying to take him out of it, and the cops had to go in and save him.
I saw that. I saw it. I said, man, these guys are out for blood.
Yeah, the side of the truck said, no Shah, no regime, USA, don't repeat 1953, no mullahs. So I don't know what he wants, but yeah, you don't go driving into a crowd of people like that. And they're very lucky. One person was confirmed struck by the vehicle, an adult male, but no significant injuries were reported, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't think he
listen,
did it to hurt people, though.
I am tapped out on hearing about this one dying, that one dying, this one getting shot, that one getting shot. It's coming to a fever pitch for me, which is why you see me gravitating towards the Golden Globe story and the Macron story, and I've had it up to here. And you know who else probably had it up to there? Your new affinity for Secretary Rubio, right? Because he's involved in every one of these, right? As Secretary of State, he's all over the place.
So I did go on the record, and I said this on Newsmax last week, that I never thought I would say this, but oh my gosh, Marco Rubio is hot. You know why? Alpha men are hot. They are hot. And I never thought that little Marco with the ears I would ever say he was hot. But he is. And you've seen all the memes of him as, you know, the governor of Greenland, and he's going to replace the Ayatollah. He's going to be the new ruler of Iran. He's going to replace the Ayatollah.
He's going to become
and all
president
these
of Cuba.
Right. So now they're saying that he could have a new job as the president of Cuba, which I want to ask a quick question. 855-839-1210. I want to know, because what I'm seeing, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, we saw J.D. Vance come out, remember, and he went to the press, and he went about the extradition of Maduro, and he sat there and he answered questions, and he's fantastic like that. He can handle the press like nobody's business. Is Trump setting up a Vance-Rubio ticket for 2028?
Well,
855-839-1210.
But before you go, I want to be the first one to chime in and say, I think Trump is playing an episode of The Apprentice, right? When he had a good project manager, but he saw promise in someone else, he would pit them against each other to see who was really going to be the next apprentice. And I absolutely love it, because I was a huge fan of that show.
Interesting. So you think it may be a Rubio-Vance ticket?
Sure.
I mean,
it's
a
win-win.
The two of them, right? I mean, it's not going to be anybody else. It's going to be the two of them, right?
Well, I don't know. You got Pete Hegseth there. I mean, he may want to get involved. You never know. These are all qualified people, in my opinion.
I don't see Hegseth as a VP. I just don't. I don't know why, but I don't. Right now, I see Vance Rubio as the ticket. That's just what I see. Or Rubio Vance, but I think it's going to be Vance Rubio. I don't know why, but I just do. That is exactly what I see. Now, so Trump was messing around on True Social and posted yesterday, a random user had joked that Rubio could be the new leader of Cuba, as you said, after the government falls. And Trump's like, sounds good to me. Poor Marco having to do it again, and all of those memes. So here's the other thing, though. Politico mused that the reason that Trump is handed the keys of Venezuela to Marco Rubio is because it's going to make or break him as far as a presidential run in 2028.
Well, I think that's probably true in every situation. I mean, when you're Secretary of State, everything you do is going to make you or break you.
True. But that's the thing. They also say, it's very difficult, though, to run for the presidency when you're the Secretary of State, because it's not like you're a governor, so you can take time away from that job. When you're a Secretary of State, you're constantly working. Ask Hillary Clinton. She would know. And so that's why he handed him the keys, because it's interesting. You notice, what is J.D. Vance doing? Do you know?
Well, he's doing what vice presidents do. He's handling domestic policy, and I saw him talking about this new office of the Attorney General, right? The Attorney General for fraud.
Yeah. Okay, but he's not the Attorney General for fraud. I don't.
No, I mean that's his job, though. His job is always to talk about whatever's happening, right? He's a vice president. It's a largely ceremonial role. I think he does more than most. Does more than Kamala Harris did, in my opinion.
Okay, it's more than President Pudding Pants ever did too. I mean, he did nothing. That was all Obama. But Buzz Jacobs, a senior advisor on Rubio's 2016 presidential campaign, said he's quietly stacking internal GOP capital. Rubio, he's talking about here. Mm-hmm. From what I hear from people in my circles within the presidential party, as of today, Marco Rubio Could Marco Rubio enter the presidential race and be very competitive, even against the vice president? I think the answer is undeniably yes.
Sure.
But then does Vance say, oh, sure, I'll be second fiddle? Or does Vance say, hey, this is mine. This is where I'm supposed to be?
I think time will tell, and again, polling matters. There's plenty to go on, and if you look at the whenever there's an accolade for Marco Rubio, there are quickly in the comments a lot of attacks, and I would say very similar to when DeSantis was thinking of getting in the political arena while Trump was thinking of running. And anytime Trump did something or said something, DeSantis would get in and he called him a meatball, right? It's very reminiscent, right? Each of these people, they have a very strong base and they start attacking in the comments. So it's always good to watch the comments. And I love listening to the comments. So I'm hoping that you guys will call.
Yeah, 855-839-1210, 855-839-1210, or you can reach out to Rich on X at Rich Valdez with an S, or Mary Walter Radio, and just tag us in a post if you want to, if you want to give us something. If you want to make a comment, pretty much on any of these topics that we've talked about, these news topics, etc., you are more than welcome to do that. So just one more question coming off, and then we'll take a quick break. Coming off of your last comment, Rich.
Of course.
If they're both strong personalities, and I think that they have different strengths. I think that J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio is more personable, like he's more of a personality than J.D. Vance is. I think J.D. Vance is the deep thinker. I think J.D. Vance is the wordsmith. He's the guy that could really mop the floor in a presidential debate against pretty much anyone. I mean, I would pay to see him against AOC. And whereas I think Marco Rubio is very much more like the diplomat. He's the foreign affairs guy. You need both of them. So Rubio running against Vance, and Rubio has said he would not do that. That if J.D. Vance gets the nod, then J.D. Vance is the guy, that he's behind. He's not going to challenge him. Isn't that better for the Republican Party to have the two of them working together as opposed to being in opposition to each other? Unless, if they both run against each other for the presidential nomination, then you see the other one come on board.
Well, 1,000% yes. And what I'm talking about is, again, the silent primary, not a public one, right? Marco Rubio's on the record saying, he told Rolling Stone or whatever, a Hollywood Reporter, whichever magazine, Politico, excuse me, that he would be behind Vance. And that's he's on the record and he's not looking to do that. And that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you don't go. It's kind of like Trump saying, look, they say I can't run a third term. They say I can't do it. They say it's not constitutional. I mean, what is Trump doing there, right? He's literally saying, if I was allowed to do it, I would do it, right? And if that makes a way, I'm in, right? He's not going to try if he can't, but if he can, he will. So I think that's the same thing you're seeing with Rubio. Rubio's out there saying, look, I'm out here doing this thing that we're doing, and I'm doing a pretty damn good job of it. So if I happen to poll better than this guy, then hey, that's on you guys. If you guys want to draft me, I'm not going to say no. I'll serve if I'm asked to. So I think that's the whisper campaign that's always relevant in politics overall. And you never know. J.D. Vance is a brilliant guy that has, he's a business mind as well, that will likely, continue in business once he's done with his political career. And he may turn around and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go run the next iteration of Trump's fusion plant or whatever. I'm not saying that, anybody's out of a job. I'm just saying It's a lifetime away and so many different things could happen. I don't think that they're going to have a public primary.
It'll be interesting. Let's go to Joe from Northeast Philly, but he's driving in Connecticut, and he is listening to 1210 WPHT. Joe, welcome to the show. Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hi, guys. I can't believe I can hear you clear as heck up here.
That's awesome.
I don't know where I'm at. Norwich, Connecticut? I don't know where I am. To tell you.
Nice.
I'm on a highway.
That's great. Go ahead.
But I was listening to your show, and I believe in Trump's policies, and I'm 80% behind him. Can't stand his attitude, his self-centeredness. So therefore, I don't think he's going to help anybody. He's going to let them go at each other like, wild dogs for his presidential spot. I don't really think he's loyal to anybody downwards. I don't think that's going to happen. But I hope they do, and I hope it is J.D. Vance and Rubio and they just make a team and go for it. And then maybe Rubio, he's still young enough to be the president after, if they don't mess it up too much.
See, and I'm going to say, interesting thought. I'll give you that, but I'm going to disagree with you, and Rich may not disagree with you. I'll make it quick. I'm going to disagree with you because I think Trump really wants to see Trumpism, MAGA, continued, and he doesn't want to see someone get in who is back to the same old,
And ruin it.
Right. So I think that if he thinks the two of them, because Marco Rubio got right on board, right? Like when he lost, he got behind Trump, and that was that. And he has echoed a lot of Trump's policies, and he's in charge of those policies. So, and Trump picked J.D. Vance to be his VP. So I think he wants to see the two of them together. What do you think, Rich?
Well, listen, I think there's some wisdom in what you're saying, ultimately, but I don't believe Trump's gonna, I agree with Joe is what I'm saying. I think that yes, of course, I think that's what he does. It's The Apprentice, right? He puts them together, duke it out a little bit. Let's see what happens. But it's all kind of behind the scenes, right? It's all like real time, real life duking it out. Whereas we're going to get to a point sometime they're going to be together and they're going to be like, are you doing it? Who's doing it? You're doing it? You guys good? All right, let's go. We're going to go with this. And there's a political reality that exists that Trump is enormously popular. Right? Even you don't like his attitude. You said you're 80% in. There's a lot of people like that. And there's some people that are even higher than 80%. So because of that popularity, there is not a future, in my opinion, as long as Trump is breathing, where you move forward without him. There is no Lone Ranger
got the
Republican.
lady on The View to agree with him. I mean,
That's
come
right.
on.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Talk about diplomacy.
It's fantastic. Absolutely. It's fantastic. But I just the way he speaks, and he doesn't. You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm a New Yorker,
I don't like
so
his bully
I
attitude.
get it.
I like his policies though.
Well, at the end of the day, that's really what it boils down to, right, Joe?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But God, when he speaks, I want him to shut up.
That's okay, Joe. I feel about my husband that way
Take the
sometimes,
win
so it's
and
all right.
move on.
I hear
Joe,
that,
we got to
brother.
run. Thank you so much for joining us. Drive carefully. Really appreciate it. And how awesome is that he's getting 1210 up in Connecticut? We got more coming up. Don't go anywhere. Mary Walter, Rich Valdez here on 1210 WPHT.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, Zuli Army. It's me, Rich. Join me today at 6 p.m. Today's the big day, the big launch of the national podcast, and I want you to be part of it right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. The Philadelphia Sheriff making national news for being insane and challenging law enforcement, and the Philadelphia police say she's not a real cop because she isn't. Plus, a little kid goes viral for giving the best analysis of the Eagles game I've ever heard, and as you know, I know a lot about sports. Today's going to be fun. I can't wait to see you. 6 p.m. today, right here.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Bet36, Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. TNC Supply.
Tune in to the Crash Proof Retirement Show Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Joanne Small-Canella and Tracy Stillman. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
Health officials warn travelers of possible measles exposures at 30th Street Station and Philly International Airport. A state senator sees new urgency in his weekly vigil at the city's ICE office, and Germantown is getting in on America's 250th birthday celebration.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Fall means football, and the ultimate game plan starts in your kitchen. At D&K Appliances, we carry winning brands like GE, Bosch, Wolf, and Sub-Zero. So whether it's game day grilling, chilling drinks, or post-game cleanup, we've got you covered. Family owned with personalized service. D&K Appliances delivers, installs, and supports every play. Visit our showrooms in Newtown Square or Flowertown, or online at dkappliances.com. D&K Appliances, the dependable difference.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Auto Group studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, my Philly familia, welcome back. It's Rich Valdez, joined by the wonderful Mary Walter. You know the phone number. It's 855-839-1210. And Mary Walter and I were just talking about President Trump putting these tariffs on Iran, and he had some tough talk on Iran yesterday. He's also talking about the potential for military action. It's still there, but he wants to negotiate a nuclear deal. Listen to this, cut 13.
They do. They called yesterday. Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday. The leaders of Iran called. They want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. Iran wants to negotiate, yes. We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up. But we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting. But a meeting is being set up. Iran called. They want to negotiate. Thank you very much, everybody.
So that was President Trump, again, talking about the U.S. weighing military action. He also said there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed, but we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some strong options, and we're going to be making a determination. Trump, famously always leaving the door open to do something else. Mary Walter, what do you think happens?
Well, I think that, I think they're in a different situation than they were in 1979. And you're seeing, this is not just students this time. This is students, this is shopkeepers who have everything to lose, right? And they're arresting thousands, and they supposedly have killed thousands. And Trump hanging over their head and now putting these tariffs on them really puts, I think, a stranglehold on the mullahs. That's what he wants. And I think that emboldens him. It gives a little bit of encouragement to the protesters, the rioters, whatever you want to call them. Because, again, it's not just the kids that are out there. These are shopkeepers who, because the economy's so bad, they can't survive. And if you can't survive, it's kind of like our revolution, right? If you, when the colonists couldn't survive because of the onerous taxes and because the British were taking whatever they want, taking their livestock, this, that, and the other thing, they all just said enough is enough, and I have nothing to lose, so out they go. And France came in and helped us, right? They sent us arms, they sent us other things, supplies and things like that, and then eventually their army came over. I don't see our military doing that. But I think what President Trump is doing is like, okay, here's the first step, and that's that. And then we'll say, I don't know what he has up his sleeve for the next step.
Mary Walter, what do you think about all of the intelligence agencies competing right now, right? I would surmise that our intelligence people and our allies' intelligence people are on the ground everywhere where we have an interest, right? Both in Venezuela, both in China and Iran, and I would say they have their people on the ground too, which is why you're seeing this this groundswell of people on social media trying to downplay, right? Or this guy that drove this truck in down the road at the anti-Mullah protest, right? Everybody has a competing interest, and how much of that do you think is making a difference in this, or is that me wearing my brother's tinfoil hat?
I was just gonna ask you. So, are you saying that it's our intel agencies that are fomenting this unrest? Or
I am saying that with no certitude and no authority.
Right, that's fine. But it wouldn't be fun if you had certitude and authority. Then it wouldn't be tinfoil hat, and we wouldn't be able to talk about conspiracy theories.
Right.
So I do think that we probably do have a hand in this, but it has to be the people ultimately, right?
Sure.
They have to be the ones that do this. Do we have people who maybe said, hey, Trump's going to back you guys up, that kind of thing, who are on the ground? Probably. Listen, I'll tell you a little story about that very quickly.
Sure.
So I was in Medjugorje, which is in the former Yugoslavia, but at the time was still Yugoslavia, and they were breaking up. So I've seen the State Department do stuff like this. We were literally on the last flight out of Sarajevo. State Department. I have been evacuated by the State Department from a country that was in the middle of the Civil War started. But before it started, there was a guy. And we knew who he was. We saw him because he was clearly American. He had the buzz cut, the tightly cropped hair, and by our last day there, he was handing out weapons out of the trunk of a beat up BMW to the locals. And
sounds like what Antifa does with bricks.
Right. And 2:00 the following morning, they're banging on our door, putting us on buses, and headed to Sarajevo. And we were on the last flight out. All right. So do I think that we possibly could be doing this? Yes, because I've seen it myself.
Yeah, of course. That's how this game is played. And I think, again, Trump is very cautious to use those assets in those places because he would prefer to use the Trumpian approach, which, let me tell you, the Don Rowe doctrine, I think, is fantastic, right? It's something I didn't understand fully when he first came on the scene, but I get it. It's clear as day to me now. And as the Supreme Court weighs the tariff stuff, I hope that they don't slow him down with that. But it is really phenomenal when you go to a regime like Venezuela, for example, and you say, all right, if you're Trump, ring, ring, hello, hey, it's Trump, how you doing? And they're like, oh, yes, Mr. President, how are you, sir? And, well, you got to give it up. I'm not going to give up anything. No, you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy, right? And then they keep going, and then he gets the vice president to roll on him, right? And let's just say if we go further down the rabbit hole and we say, okay, well, they used this sonic weapon. Well, maybe it wasn't the Americans at all. Maybe it was the same Cubans that were guarding him because they used their Havana syndrome weaponry that's been perfected on the Venezuelans to facilitate this whole thing.
So, someone who was on our trip with us to Israel, I'll tell you later, off the air, texted me and said, hey, we were just talking and said, I have it on good authority, and did not name names, and I don't think will name names, that the woman who is now replacing Maduro is the one who dimed her out as to where he was going to be.
Totally.
And she's the one who coordinated.
That's why she didn't get locked up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's clear as day. And I think the reason that they're talking tough on Cuba is because the Cubans who are guarding him likely are in on this too, which means they work for the Cuban military. So I would say they've probably cut a deal with one of the Cuban military people to take over, get rid of this regime that's there, and say, look, let's make a deal. Let's just make money. We'll put a big hotel in Havana. You guys will have energy. You'll have electricity. You'll make money again. There'll be dollars. We'll lift the embargo. Let's make a deal. I'd rather deal with Trump than deal with the military.
Peace through prosperity. The problem is Venezuela especially has, so many. It's huge. It's twice the size of California. It's a big country, and it's got something like 30 million people, something like that. However many people there. but they have a lot of gangs. It's always had a lot of gang factions, Tren de Aragua being one of them.
Yeah.
And that's why you see so many of these tin pot dictators who align themselves with these gangs, because these gangs are capable of keeping peace in the outer regions of the country. So you don't have a militia or someone come up to challenge that dictator who's in power, right? So you have all of them still out there. It's going to be very difficult, and I don't know how they're going to navigate this, but I think Trump is right. He's like, hey, it's your country, you figure it out. The United States does not do regime change well at all. We're terrible at it.
No, we're just good at toppling the government. You guys got to figure it out from there.
We didn't topple the government. We left his people in charge.
Right. I think, well, that's the Don Rowe doctrine. Mary, I'm going to pause right here because they're in my ear, and I'm going to tell everybody. I want to know what you think. Let me know what happens from here and how much of our spy work is involved in this. Give me a call, 855-839-1210. It's Mary Walter and Rich Valdez. Don't go anywhere.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Get high-quality furniture, your style, your way at Bucks County Estate Traders. Explore their massive Hatfield showroom featuring 16,000 meticulously inspected pieces. And for a truly custom look, ask about their expert upholstery service. Their talented team can breathe new life into your chosen piece, and their industry-leading staff provides a world-class guided experience. Find your perfect furniture perfectly customized, plus every item has a QR code to make shopping seamless. Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their showroom in Hatfield today.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra on the story of Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey, February 21st.
He does a lot of parodies of different songs. To see it all come together was just awesome. And then the whole family.
There's just so much talent on that stage.
Joe Conklin's really funny. And I love the Frank Sinatra guy. And I thought the drummer was fabulous. Go Joe, go Birds. It was awesome.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm and Philly sports put to music at the Broadway Theater in Pittman, New Jersey on February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Oh!
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
What's up, everybody? I'm Nick Costos, and watching sports isn't a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And my show is not a job, it's a passion. From the NFL playoffs to the NBA and everything in between, celebrate sports with me every day on You Better You Bet from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. Download the Odyssey app now and listen to Westwood One Sports from anywhere. It's You Better You Bet with me, Nick Costos, live and interactive Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, presented by BetMGM.
Yo, Doylestown. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
And welcome back. Rich Valdez with an S here with me, Mary Walter. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Also, tomorrow's my podcast, live cast. And I know a lot of you who are WPHT listeners, you guys are amazing. And you show up for the live cast. And it's just us tomorrow. So whatever it is you want to talk about, that's what we're going to do. It is live 7:15 p.m. Eastern on Rumble, YouTube, and Getter. And then the audio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Spreaker. Just look for Mary Walter Radio. And Rich,
yes, ma'am.
Where can people find you besides here tomorrow?
Absolutely. I'm always at Rich Valdez with an S, richvaldez.com. You can go there and find everything you need from me. I'm on all the platforms, all the video places, all the everything. You put my name, you'll find me.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
I try to be.
Rich, I just want to go back to something that you had kind of like mentioned a little bit earlier, and I was fascinated by the fact that you said that you watch the Golden Globes. Like, you haven't watched them, but you would because you like a good awards show.
Yeah, well, I like the VMAs. I also like I used to like the Oscars. They're not horrible, but they just haven't been great lately.
Okay, because seriously, you would have to strap me to a chair and prop my eyes open with toothpicks to get me to watch an award show.
I'm not that guy. I like that stuff.
Yeah, so I can't. You know, sometimes I like to look at what they're wearing, but what they wear now is so just ridiculous. And it's like the Super Bowl commercials. They post the good ones. So it saves me a lot of time. Besides, I don't have that kind of free time on my hands to sit and watch other people award themselves with stuff. It's a very odd concept when you think about it. It's not like the People's Choice Awards, which no one ever asked me about my choice. I don't know if anybody's ever asked you, but I've never been polled for the People's Choice Awards.
No, I was once nominated for a People's Choice Award for my podcast.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, 2 years ago or 3.
Wait. So who do they poll for this? I'm very interested.
Well, it's the People's Choice. So you go.
I understand that, but I'm a people, and no one has ever asked me what, you know.
Well, I solicited my votes on Twitter.
Okay, but so you could just nominate yourself?
No, I was nominated by Westwood One, but once it goes out, you know, it's like, hey, voting's open for this time frame, and everybody and their mama can vote.
Okay, so you need to be nominated by someone who has connections to be able to nominate you in the People's Choice Award.
Yes.
Okay, so it's an inside thing.
I would presume so, I guess.
Okay.
I mean,
right,
I don't
so
know. Maybe I might have been able to have been nominated by Mary Walter. I didn't ask.
Well, like we say in Jersey, you got to know a guy. All right.
I got a guy.
Yeah, and you had a guy. So then they solicit votes online, is what you're saying. And I just don't pay attention, so I don't know about that.
Correcto.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's just not in my wheelhouse. So the Golden Globes. I don't watch them at all. But I thought it was hilarious that comedian Bill Maher was there, and they were dumb enough to ask him a question. So because they were all wearing these little pins that said "Be Good," because the woman who was shot was Renee Good, right? Be good, because they're always on the wrong side of any issue. You know, the Illuminati, the elite,
right.
Which. The hilariousness of all of their anti-ICE and anti-cop and all this other stuff is they had insane security around it. They had police dogs, they had cops, right? The whole thing. And here they are trashing law enforcement. Hilarious.
Well, they also trashed the Department of Justice and a certain news organization.
Get out.
Did you hear that clip?
What? Yes. I was going there. Cut 4. This is Nikki Glaser. Now, Nikki Glaser is the comedian who now hosts most of these award shows, because a lot of the people who used to host them, who were really, really funny, aren't allowed to do it anymore because they're really funny. And so Nikki Glaser, is political, so that's what they want to hear. They just want to hear their own opinions echoed back at them, so they can pat each other on the back and go, "We're the smartest people ever." So here's Nikki Glaser at the Golden Globes.
Golden Globe for Best Editing goes to the Justice Department. Yes, congratulations. And the award for most editing goes to CBS News. Yes. CBS News, America's newest place to see BS News. We needed another.
And notice she had so many applause to that joke.
Yes. Yeah. You know what's interesting is they are so insanely unaware. They're just so unaware. I quickly want to go. Guys are the best. Bill Maher on the red carpet asked about a pin.
Wanda Sykes also wearing a Be Good pin for Renee Good, obviously, and trying to use this platform for activism. Do you feel that's effective or no?
Come on. We're just here for show business today. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. And if they didn't act like such thugs, it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't need to wear a pin about it.
Notice he had to put the little jab into ice, right? What he should have said is, if they weren't idiots blocking the road and not listening to the cops, it wouldn't have happened. But he went the other way because he's not stupid.
So good that you say that, because I took it as he was saying that those two women were the ones being thugs.
You know what? Maybe he was doing that because nobody knew who he was talking about.
Yeah, it was a clear win for Bill Maher there.
Exactly. All right, we got to go. How about we
That's
do this
it?
again
It's over?
tomorrow? Yeah, it's over. How about we do this again tomorrow?
I'm down to do it. I feel like I'm still doing it today. I need more time. Can we get another hour, please? Somebody call Greg Stocker.
We're already over. All right, we will be back with you tomorrow. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Hasta la próxima.
Yes, we'll see you here tomorrow on the afternoon show on 1210 WPHT. Have a good one.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck